It's Judgment Day at the Sheffield Arena. The Steelers were the champions back in 1995. We'll be looking to repeat that feat tonight. For the Jesters, well, this is their first time in the final. This was the team arriving at the arena just a few hours ago. They've never won this cup before. Nervous? Well, they don't look it, do they? It's the Sheffield Steelers versus the Newcastle Jesters in the B&H Cup. Live and exclusive here on British Eurosport. Yes, hello and welcome to the Sheffield Arena, where we're live for the B&H Cup final between the Sheffield Steelers and the Newcastle Jesters. This is what it's all about tonight. Well, there's been a great atmosphere all day here in the House of Steel. We're hoping for some great entertainment on the ice and also off it. And to help me off it, well, I got two gentlemen who don't really need much of an introduction, but I'll do that anyways. Terry Christensen, of course, of Manchester Storm, and Chris McSorley of the London Knights. Welcome, gentlemen. And Chris, first of all, of course, the Jesters beat you in the semi-finals just 2 weeks ago. Can they beat the Steelers, though, tonight?
Well, right now, Newcastle's a team that's kind of on a roll, and they're a team that plays with a lot of momentum. But that team kind of goes as the momentum's going. With guys like Danny Lacroix leading the charge through the middle, they're going to be a very tough team to beat. But if Sheffield gets out of the gates early, they're a team that's struggled as of late. But if they get out of the gates, Sheffield's still been the team all season.
Terry, no Newcastle side in whatever guise have ever won here at the House of Steel. Why would it be different tonight?
Well, I think, first of all, Chris already alluded to this point when he was talking, and that is Sheffield has lost their last 2 regular season games. The other thing Sheffield has on their side and against them is they got the big home crowd. There's high expectations going into this hockey game. But Newcastle plays a very defensive style of game. If they can stay in the game early, Sheffield doesn't score 2-3 quick goals like we saw them do against Nottingham, then I think Newcastle's got a very good chance here tonight.
Well, Chris, you know all about home advantage, or not as the case may be. How important are the crowd behind you?
Well, I think what Sheffield has, they have their hidden, their 7th man, and that is David Sims. David Sims, their general manager, but people don't understand he's also their public address announcer. And you get that maniac upstairs in the loft, and he's out there just cheering the crowd along. I mean, they're very tough when David Sims gets that crowd behind the team.
Now, Terry, your team are the current holders of the competition for the next 2.5 hours at least. Steelers won it in '95. Jesters have never won it, and let's have a look at the graphic of that if we can. There we go. Cardiff were the winners back in '92, and then it was Nottingham and Manchester in the last 2 years. Can you see the Jesters getting in there?
Well, again, I think that they got an outstanding chance tonight. You say Newcastle's never won it before, but there's a lot of new players in this hockey team. Right now, they're very, very excited to be in the game. Every player wants to be in a game like this. Every coach wants to coach in a game like this. It's anybody's game going into it. Everybody thinks they got a chance to win the cup.
Well, here are the head-to-heads this season. 5-1, the Steelers lead. But remember, the one time the Jesters won was in this competition, Chris.
Well, they're just, I know what it's like. They're a team that really raises their tempo depending upon the importance of the game. And with Newcastle being headed by Yuko Ylönen, I know this team will be very well prepared for the Sheffield attack.
But talk about the favourites, the Steelers, absolutely mullering everyone in the Super League this season, Terry.
Well, they're out to a great start, obviously. They're way ahead of everybody. You take a look at the standings right now. But we went back to that graphic that was showed earlier. The record the Steelers have against Newcastle is 5-1. Only one of those games, Sheffield has blown out Newcastle. The other 4 games have been very, very close, with obviously Newcastle winning one of them. So Newcastle knows they can beat Sheffield. They have to play within themselves. They have to be very patient, very disciplined, and obviously work as hard as they have in those other games.
Wow, it is getting really noisy here in the House of Steel. After the break, it's the Steelers against the Jesters.
No doubt about it. Home crowd, thousands of Steelers fans here. It's definitely a Sheffield victory tonight.
They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. They're just the best there is.
They'll give Jesters a really good run for the money, if not beat them.
Steelers! Steelers! beaten them down here for a long time, so this is going to be the night tonight.
Hopefully, you know, we'll send the Sheffield Steelers home crying tonight, hopefully.
Tonight we know that they're going to come out and play physical, try and knock us about a bit, but we think we can edge it.
Terrific colour, isn't it? Yeah, we're live at the House of Steel. It's the Jesters against the Steelers. Face off, well, just a few moments from now. Well, as I mentioned just before the break, remember, the Jesters are the only side to have beaten the Steelers in this competition. That was in the group stages. Both of these teams are in the same group. Well, Rachel Watley's been speaking to both coaches to see if lightning can strike twice.
I think they have a pretty upbeat feeling at the moment, and relaxed, and I think our preparation mentally, physically has gone well so far.
No, I think the guys are ready to go. It's a time where they get mentally ready. I think at this point they're physically ready, so now it's the mental preparation.
Newcastle team to beat Sheffield Steelers at their home rink, and the best time to do it tonight.
It's exciting for me, but I'm happy for the guys that have never been there, because it's a great spectacle, and they'll never play another game like it this year with the atmosphere.
Well, that's the reaction there of both coaches, Terry and Chris. Oh, first you, Terry, what will you be telling the players now if you're in their shoes?
Well, obviously, you got Mike Blaisdell, whose team has played very, very well in this building all year long. The one thing they got to do is contain their emotion, let their emotion be an asset for them here in this hockey game. Now, if you're in the other locker room, Newcastle, obviously they got to play it close to the vest. They're a team that plays a very good neutral zone. They're very patient. They play within themselves. What you have to do is wait for Sheffield to make the mistake, whether it be a turnover or take a bad penalty, allow you to go on the power play, and at that point, you got to capitalize on the opportunity.
Chris, lots of big-name players out on the ice tonight. They don't get nervous, do they?
Well, actually, a lot of these guys have been there before, and a lot of players here have been seasoned at the National Hockey League level, so these guys, this is old hat for a lot of these guys, and I think you're going to see tonight, if Newcastle's able to get out of the gates and get right into the face of their goaltender, they're going to be fine.
You may have gathered by the noise, the players are just about to hit the ice.
And so Mike Rowe will be the referee, the first one to step on the ice as we get set for this B&H Cup final. Matt Polka, Marco Conan will be the linesman. And here come the Steelers, and here comes the noise. Capacity crowd here in the House of Steel. The Steelers playing in the dark jerseys. They are not the home team. They lost the toss of the coin, and so they're the visitors as far as jerseys and last change is concerned, but they very much have the home ice advantage and the benefit of this massive crowd. Almost 12,000 people in this building. They had to put in some extra seats on the right-hand side of the rink, and so we're almost ready to go with this one. Mike Rowe, as I said, is the referee, and he is the first player ever to play in the Benson Hedges Cup and then become a referee. Maury Hansen became a linesman after playing here, but Mike Rowe, the tough guy defenseman, played most of his hockey up north and in Canada, will be handling this one, and he likes to let the action go.
There are 6 Sheffield players who have appeared in the previous finals of this Benson Hedges Cup. Mike Blaisdell as a player and coach, Paul 84 times, Brent Bobick twice. Rick Brabant's been in 3 B&H Cup finals. Steve Carpenter 1. David Longstaff and Jason Weaver have each appeared in a B&H final.
So lots of experience, and now listen to the applause for this Newcastle Jester team. They're looking to pick up the first piece of silverware in the history of the club. They have never won a game in this building. They've tied a couple of times, but boy, they've struggled, and they haven't been able to pick up a victory here. What will happen tonight? Will that all change? A lot of people have come the distance from up north, and they hope so.
This is a huge game for Newcastle. They have been beaten 3 times here this year. They've lost 5 of the 6 meetings this season, but they've got one guy who knows what it's like to be here. Rob Wilson's the only Newcastle Jester to have appeared in a previous Benson Hedges Cup final. He iced for the victorious 1995 Sheffield Steeler team. So Rob knows what it's like, and I'm sure he's been talking to the boys in the dressing room.
Folks, we talk about Newcastle being the underdogs, but in a game like this, it's 60 minutes. I know it's a cliche, but it is 60 minutes. You can forget about the past. Both of these teams are up for this one. They've both got the talent to go the distance and to win it.
Well, Paul, you gave me the keys to the car. I've got all these stats, and you told me you can throw stats away before a game like this. In theory, you told me you don't need me anyway.
Incredible atmosphere in this Sheffield arena. Let's take a look, folks, at the Newcastle Jesters. Santasari, the goaltender, if he can stay cool, but at the same time be hot, these guys are going to stand a chance.
Sheffield have got great offense, but Santasari's played 9 of the 11 games for Newcastle. He has allowed 20 goals. His goals against average is 2.31. He's had plenty of action.
Defensively, they're strong, they're steady.
McCausland's a great offensive defenseman as well. Check this guy out, 11 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. He's amongst the leaders in scoring.
Up front, we've seen Oates come up with the big goals, but someone else that has to start scoring for the team.
Well, they've got guys that can put the puck in the net. Eric Fenton works really hard. Joel Poirier never stops skating whenever he's on the ice. Watch him, 4 goals, 5 assists. He's got 9 points.
Sheffield Steelers are a very solid club. They're riding high in the Seconda Super League. O'Neill and Tucci are the goaltenders. Both of them are excellent. Either one of them could start.
Well, and it's that Whitley Bay kid as well, David Longstaff, who is the guy to watch right now. Number 1 in the scoring, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. What a season he's having.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a tough game, and I'm looking forward to it. Mike Rowe, a no-nonsense referee, but he's seen it and he's done it, and that's the good thing about it. He's been there, so he knows what it's like to get hooked and jabbed in the corner, and he's not going to fret over the little things.
Oh, he doesn't fret. Don't let that smile fool you. Mike Rowe's as mean as anybody out there. The players all know it, and they respect him for it.
Newcastle in the lighter jerseys playing from right to left. Picked up on the far side by Smith, gets it over to Sebastian for Sheffield. Tipped in through neutral ice. Wilson got the touch. Oates goes down on the far side. Sebastian picks that up and takes it into the corner. Pass up on the wing, and Sheffield just get it out of the zone, come down. Longstaff has got the good moves. He's got the soft hands, and he doesn't get that from Prairie Liquid. He's got it when he's moving his stick handling nicely. Delayed penalty call on the play. And the touch comes with Newcastle getting the puck. And so the penalty coming in the first minute of the play. Poirier gets the call for tripping.
Poirier heading to the penalty box with a few words from Mike Rowe on the way. Tripping is the call.
So the captain sits for a couple of minutes with 19 minutes and 28 seconds remaining on the first period. Mike Blaisdell, here's a hands-on guy. A couple of weeks ago, they were so short of players. At 40 years old, he jumps on the ice with his skates and plays a couple of hockey games.
You're right, he's the one guy that the players can't look at and say, yeah, right, coach, you go out and do it, because he's a guy that can go out and do it.
NHL experience, Team Canada experience, great guy. Craigwell, shot wide of the target, deflected away. Little tip along the boards. Aldikas getting his first icing assignment out there. Ex-NHLer, Newcastle. Craigwell back of the blue, flips it over. Smith fires it. Fenton on the far side now. He's got Lacroix, 2-on-2 situation. Fenton giving the puck away. Neutralized territory. Back comes Steelers. A roar from the crowd. 80 shot on the target. 80 playing with that full face mask. Got the broken nose, damaged face.
Well, Scott Allison going to work right away. 80 with the shot on the right side to save his there. Look at Allison. He just gives the goalie an extra little poke. Hey, he's going to let him know he's in town, and he's going to get more of that during the game. Allison sporting a bruised face as well as he comes into this one. Not shy and making sure that his presence is felt. Paul 80 with the full face mask.
Well, there are some who say that all players should wear full face masks. I know you're one who doesn't agree with that.
Well, it's a little late to even begin to care about it now.
I think you're a pretty nice looking guy, folks.
I think my kids are good looking. They'll wear face masks.
Steelers on the power play. 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining on the power play. Wilson putting in the big shove on the far side. Wilson turns around, slams it out of the zone. McCosh couldn't keep it in. Sebastian gets it over to McCosh. Shadowing out there is Tommy Sova. Sova backs off now and gets a change of personnel. 42 seconds left on the power play. Longstaff still out there, hits the blue line. Looking for Brabant. Longstaff getting a bit of a hook on the play. Back pass coming back to the blue line. Jeff Sebastian backpedaling back deep as Matt Oates stays right on him. 25 seconds on the power play. Archioma now going after his man. Archioma getting a stick in there. Brabant trying to throw it to the far side. He does. Weaver breaks on this side. Longstaff on the far side. And Brabant picks it up. Gets it back. One-timer. Save is there. Sebastian let it go right across the goal. And Weaver got a piece of it. And here comes Archioma. The big Finn all alone. Winds up. Good save. Torchia got a piece of it. Poirier's back on the ice. And this game has caught fire right from the opening face-off. Big hit there along the boards. Bins with Norris going after him. Dial, the ex-NHLer, missed that. Flipped along to Roberts. Roberts gets it up along the boards. Backpedaling is number 26. Akudikas shot. Took a deflection on the far side. That back behind the net. Simpson looking for places to go. Squeezed out of the play. Norris couldn't hang on to it. Fenton squeezes his man along the boards, and Lacroix tries to get it out, but it comes the other way. Dial taking out number 40, Jari Swarsa, as he had an open opportunity to break through neutralized territory. That is flipped over the plexi. We have a stoppage in play as both teams change.
This game certainly isn't short on pace. Both teams really going up and down the ice at speed.
Face-off comes into Steelers territory at the top of the circle. Jukka Jalonen behind the bench for Newcastle. They have a strong Finnish contingency there. Really an international squad, but quite a few Finns on the team, as well as Canadians.
They've got 6 countries represented on the team. U.S., Canada, Great Britain, Finland, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia.
Did I catch you out on that one? No, well done.
I was waiting.
Immonen to Bedard. Bedard along the wing. McCosh has lost his stick. Immonen brings it out the side of the net, looking for places to go. Tries to wrap it around at the side of the net. Touches there. And eventually squeezed away as far as the blue line. Shot comes in. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Steelers touch it with Smith getting it back in the corner. Second penalty of the hockey game. This time we'll see what the Jesters power play is made of.
The cross-checking call going against Adam Smith. Newcastle applying pressure. It's tough around the front of the net. Smith puts the chop on his player as the player's going down. Mike Rowe in a position where he felt that was a cross-check. A lot of people in the crowd shaking their head on that one.
How about you?
I shook it a little bit, yeah.
Wilson back deep. 15 minutes and 40 seconds left on the period. Archioma comes up. Norris stays right on him. Oates is there too. McCausland grabs it off the blue. He's got the big shot. That's deflected away as Gauthier went down. Didn't have to make the save. Along the boards on the far side. A high flip up. Wilson is back for it. Wilson backpedals, gets it up. Oates wants it, but it comes back to Rob Wilson on the left-hand side. High flip off the far side, and play is whistled down. Stoppage in play with 1:20 left on the power play.
Sheffield are good in the penalty killing situations. They've got a 92% penalty kill rating coming into this game. They've been shorthanded 50 times. They've only allowed 4 power play goals to be scored on them. In 11 games, Newcastle have scored 6 power play goals.
Jukka Jalonen was the man who called the toss of the coin last week at a B&H Cup party. And when the coin, have a stoppage in play again, and when the coin was tossed, it was decided that he would call the toss, but he stared at the coin in the hand covering it, and finally admitted that he didn't know how to say heads or tails in English. So it had to be someone from the crowd who yelled out, "Say head!" And he did, and he won the toss and became the home team.
One stat worth noting, we mentioned Newcastle having scored 6 power play goals. They have only scored 1 power play goal in their last 33 chances.
Another penalty on the play. Fenton with 15 minutes now. Steelers also with a man in the box. Sorsa, nice move. Sorsa. Lacroix.
Those penalty calls short for Sheffield for slashing, Fenton for Newcastle for roughing.
46 seconds left on the first Sheffield penalty. Jesters, Lacroix on the left wing. High flip in, goaltender gloves it down. Throws it right out. Unbelievable. Hakidis had a golden opportunity, but he was taken out of the play. Goaltender, big mistake there as he threw it out up the center of the ice. Wrong thing to do at any time. Eventually cleared away. McCausland. Kupka. Kupka takes it into the corner. Salonen shadows. Salonen backs off McCausland. Salonen now goes in front. Kupka. Salonen unable to get the shot away. Long pass up as number 24, Adam Smith, came out of the penalty box. He really couldn't control the forward pass. Sebastian takes it in his own zone. Long pass up the middle. Longstaff got it back, looks for the return pass. Levant unable to control it. Kupka runs into a brick wall. Weaver, Kupka colliding. Both teams trying to get fresh legs out there as the Steelers now cross the blue and come into the zone. Loose puck taken away. Archioma looks for somewhere to go and gives it away. 80 is there, throws it back to his own blue line. McCosh wants it this way, but Veal goes the other way. 80 unable to get on the end of that. Deflected away at the last moment as Oates got back in a hurry. Oates playing some good two-way hockey at the start of this first period. Oates now picks it up deep in the corner. Unable to find anyone, so just shoots it down the ice. That'll be the first icing call. Eventually touched, and both players, number 34, Cale Short, and Fenton, come back on the ice, so the teams are back at full strength. The face-off will be in Jesters territory.
Well, at least this song isn't discriminating against either one of the players, because one from each team have come out of the penalty box when they play that "Who Let the Dog Out?" Ooh, ooh, ooh. The crowd really loves that one here.
I'm not going to touch that one.
We'll be singing that one down the M1 all the way home.
Lacroix flips it up high. Swarsa couldn't get a handle on it. Bin backpedaling in a hurry. Loose puck in front. Halkides, watch that go through the top of the crease. Simpson brought down. No penalty on the play. McCosh keeps it in, rattles it off the woodwork. Simpson trying to get on the end of it. Can't control it. Swarsa moves it along the boards and quickly driven right back in. Goaltender comes out in a hurry. Simpson unable to move with it. Swarsa, nice little pass. Lacroix has got Fenton and Swarsa. Lacroix, 360, looks to flip it around. Fenton couldn't get a stick on it, and Allison grabs that in the far corner. Wilson drives it back in. Both teams again trying to get fresh legs. No score in this hockey game. 11:42 remaining on the first period of this B&H Cup. We are live on British Eurosport, and we hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are. No shortage of spectacular moments here in the first couple of minutes. Shot on the target from Sebastian. Bobic couldn't get on the end of it as Satosari came up with a big save. Sebastian in the corner. Kupka goes after him. Roberts providing a little interference. And the Steelers slow it down and get it out on the wing. Roberts, rink-wide pass. Batted down by Oates. Flipped back behind the cage. And again, the Steelers go for fresh legs out there. Kupka couldn't get the handle on it. VL goes back. Long pass up the middle. That bounces over everyone's stick. Goaltender puts it in the corner. Keiko unable to move it. Craigwell was right in his face. High flip away. Archioma goes after it, but Veal will get there first. 10:39 now left on the period. Craigwell right up the middle. Takes it, spins, hits the red. Poked from behind by Oates. Oates doing a great job. Glove by Halkides. Longstaff put a big shoulder into Oates. Archioma couldn't get on that. We've had some technical difficulties here, but we hope you're still enjoying our hockey game, and we hope it all comes right for you. 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining on this first period. Well, I can't see an empty seat in this building.
The record attendance for a B&H Cup final is 10,136 who turned out to see Sheffield beat Nottingham in 1995, but it's not the biggest B&H crowd. That was in Manchester against Ayr in 97. There were 11,105 people, and this is a great crowd here tonight.
I think we've exceeded that today. They said that the queues a couple of weeks ago were going around the building just like they did when Robbie Williams played here. Gorsa slams on the brakes, lost control of it, and the Steelers now with a 3-on-3 situation developing. 80 loses that, pumped away in a hurry. Metcalf couldn't get on the end of it, and the Steelers will try it again. Long pass goes through the crease. No icing call when it does that. 80 gets on the end of it, a giveaway pass to him right in front as that's deflected through the top of the crease. Clark on his first shift of a hockey game pumps it down the ice along the boards. Norris watches that go over, and eventually it goes all the way down the ice, and we have another stoppage in play for icing.
Both teams wanted to change. Brabant brings his line back out on the ice. The player assistant coach Rick Brabant will become today, well, he has become, he's in this game, the first player to ice for 4 different B&H Cup finals. His previous appearances are with Cardiff in '93, the Panthers of Nottingham in '94, and with Manchester in '99.
From the face-off, loose puck, no one can get a handle on it. Shot way high upstairs. Heimonen let it fly. Torchia decided to glove it down and called for a stoppage in play.
Interesting start for Sheffield. Mike Torchia in the net. He's had a good season, but he's played in only 3 of the 10 games for Sheffield in the B&H Cup. 2.67 goals against average, and they've got good goaltending all the way around between Mike Torchia and Mike O'Neill.
Allison got a poke at that. It comes out to the top of the circle, and again we have 3 Steelers breaking through neutral ice territory. Bobbling puck in the slot area. Backhander comes right out front as Brabant got a piece of it. Kupka is there to control it momentarily, but a chance now. Simpson takes a shot. Satosari came up big with a pad save. Oh, Heimonen dragging down Brabant, and Rowe is right there to signal a penalty.
I don't think there's anybody questioning whether Rick Brabant takes this game serious or not. Look at the intensity that this man displays. Every shift, he is just working like an animal, and he creates that penalty that the Jesters have just taken just by not saying no and just keeping his legs going and working hard to get to the front of the Newcastle net.
2-minute penalty to Santeri Heimonen, another Finn for Newcastle. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left on the period. Power play situation. Sebastian shot, save! Skate save on the left-hand side. Good reactions from the goaltender, good reactions from the linesman as they called the offside. And if you're watching perhaps for the first time, you have to remember that the puck has to be the first thing to go over that blue line. If a player on the attacking team goes ahead of the puck, then it's offside. There's that big save. Weaver unable to get on the rebound.
Power play opportunities haven't been a strong point for either one of these teams. Sheffield, 1 goal in their last 28 attempts with the power play.
1:34 left on the power play. The Steelers marching forward. Weaver slows it down, gets it back. McCosh over to Sebastian. Sebastian seeing a lot of ice time out there. Trying to jam it in. Short side was Longstaff. The Newcastle boy. Longstaff waiting in front. McCosh now, who has that big shot. Unable to get on it there as Archioma stays right on him. Longstaff taken out by the Finn. McCosh now from way in at the blue line goes into the corner. Longstaff wants to wrap it around or get it back to the blue line. He gets it back to the blue line, but hey, where's Sebastian? He moved over into the high slot area. 50 seconds remaining on the power play. Steelers still struggling to get a couple of more quality shots on goal as they move it out. Backing off are the Jesters. Driven down the ice. Metcalf is there to collect at the blue line. Quickly onto the left wing. Change of personnel for the Steelers as that comes around to 80. Out of the skate, up to the hash marks. Metcalf slows it right down along the boards. Lacroix stays with him. 80, back behind the net. Craigwell backs off now. Craigwell goes into the hash marks. Smith is back at the blue line. Allison, one-timer, deflects off the goaltender, goes upstairs. Racing in is number 24, Adam Smith. 80, in a hurry. 5 seconds left on the power play. Smith lets a shot go, deflection. Goaltender comes out off the plexi around the boards. Good move by him. Lacroix is there. Heimonen is back on the ice, and the Jesters are back at full strength, and Craigwell picks it up and moves it back behind the net. Another penalty successfully killed off here in the fourth period. A chance now. Saladin, shot on the target. Goaltender makes the save. Rebound. Saladin picks it up. And he's got Keiko running interference, trying to get on that puck. Bedard now. Bedard takes it in the corner. Jesters trying to get it out front. Halkides lets the shot go from a sharp angle. going for the stick side. That didn't work. Bounced out away from Salonen. Back to Keiko. Jesters. Kupka finds an opening, fires it down the ice. Both teams changing. 5:45 left on the period. Still no score in this one. The B&H Cup final here in the House of Steel. And that'll be icing as the Steelers fire it down the ice to complete their change. Mosner goes back to touch it.
Sheffield for a change in this first period, feeling a bit of pressure, taking the heat off by icing the puck. Good work by Newcastle. They're forechecking hard, they're taking the body, setting up picks, they're letting the defensemen get involved in the offense.
Two talented coaches in Yellen and Blaisdell. Both tactically aware. Oates. Archioma providing a pick as that's thrown down the ice, deflected away, so no icing call. 5:15 now left on the period. Backing off are the Jesters as the Steelers try to move it up the middle to Roberts. Thrown up on the wing. Poirier now with a chance. Poirier from a sharp angle. Slams on the brakes, loses control for a moment, but gets the shoulder in there nicely. Poirier stays on it, eventually cleared. Mosner pumps it right back in. And we're going to have another stoppage in play. And a big elbowing call.
And Paul, that's created by unselfish work from Joel Poirier. He just doesn't stop skating. He creates things on the ice. The guy is just an animal. He skates until the lights go out in the building. Vial has had his hands full on this shift with Poirier. He's been all over the place. Vial and Poirier bumping, grinding, going back and forth. Poirier just keeps his legs going. He's involved in the play again. Puck comes out over the blue line, but Vial comes up with the elbow. Rowe right on the call. Sheffield go to the penalty box for elbowing.
From the face-off, Hakidi back to Mosner. Archioma. Swarsa. Lacroix now on the far side. Arkides with a shot, keeps it low, deflected away. Bakosh being pushed and shoved out of play, double team, but he hangs in there, and the Steelers eventually get it out, much to the approval of this enormous crowd. Morris cleared at the distance. Mosner picks it up and starts it down the ice. Little flip through to Lacroix. Lacroix waiting for a little support, drops it back. Arkides along the boards, takes it back to the blue line, tips it to the hash marks. Jesters setting it up. They have all the time in the world. No panic. NHL experience out there on both teams. Swarsa got it to the side. Fenton tried to jam it through. Sebastian saw the opening. A 2-on-1 breaking now. A chance for the Steelers on a short-handed effort. Simpson going in. Scores! Whoa, takes the penalty to a goal in the last minute. And we're going to have a penalty here, but it's a short-handed goal. Simpson did it all on his own.
That's a late hit from Halkinas. He had it coming. Brabant was always going to do the team thing. He went flying right straight in on the play. What an individual effort from Simpson on that goal. Good hard work paying off for the Steelers while being short-handed. Halkinas beaten on the play, thought, well, I'm going to finish this off anyway. It's Brabant that sends the pass ahead. Good heads-up pass from Brabant. The legs are moving. The hook is there. It doesn't work. Good concentration. Back on the forehand for the goal. Simpson really working to get that puck into the net, and Halkinas drives him into the boards. You know teammates are coming to your assistance when something like that happens. Brabant was in there quick. Other players got involved. At the end of the day, it's a goal. It's the first goal for Sheffield in this game, and that's a huge goal. Sheffield are 23 wins and 2 losses when they've scored the first goal of a game. So that is so important for this team. And it's got this crowd on its feet. Good effort by Kent Simpson.
Mike Rowe down at the timekeeper's bench trying to sort this one out. The penalty box door is open. Wilson is having words, as is Poirier. Poirier is the captain. Wilson is the assistant captain. The officials having difficulty communicating through the plexiglass, so Mike Rowe has opened up the door.
Well, you don't have to be a professional lip reader to figure out what Blaisdell's got to say on the bench about that late hit from Halkitis after the goal had gone in the net. He wants Rowe to make the call. Brabant is in the penalty box. He's the guy that followed through on Halkitis after Simpson had been taken out of the play. Vial is in the penalty box already for an elbowing call earlier.
He's got 59 seconds left on his penalty. Things heating up here. We have 3 minutes and 50 seconds left of the first period. Still a long way to go in this hockey game. Lots of action. Yalanen knows he doesn't want to fall too far behind. The announcement of the goal.
Again, a 16-10 penalty to Newcastle. Number 15, Eric Fenton, 2 minutes for roughing.
Now, Mike Rowe has sorted things out. We're still waiting for the Jesters to put a man in the penalty box.
Well, Fenton's asking, why is it me going over to the penalty box? Rowe has called Fenton for roughing. Brabant has gone to the penalty box for boarding.
That's a strange call. I was expecting number 26 for the Jesters to be in there, and he's nowhere to be seen. Unbelievable, but Mike Rowe made the call. Goaltender shoots it all the way down the ice. Archioma, with 3:33 remaining on this period, starts it up.
I know Halkitis is new in town, but I don't think he's that clever to slip out the back door this early in the game and leave. He got away with one there.
Offside the call. Faceoff will be outside the Steelers' blue line. 3:22 left on the period. Fenton will not be happy with that call.
Well, he wasn't happy at all. He came off the bench. Couldn't believe he was going to the penalty box.
He thought maybe he'd won a car after the first period draw or something like this, but it wasn't to be. High cross the ice pass, which deflects off the plexi, and that's a souvenir for someone here in Sheffield. Face-off goes back into the Steelers' zone. 26 seconds left on Vial's penalty. Face-off to the top of the circle. Oates is out there. Oates can't win that as Norris dragged it back, trapped at the line. Wilson did a great job, gets it the second time and pumps it into the corner. Short, unable to get on it. Smith coming up with a big hit. Archioma tries to get it away and gets it right back. Wilson wants it back at the blue line. Archioma now breaks in front of the net, but the pass doesn't come. Archioma on the puck, working with Oates. Vial back on the ice. Back at full strength for the Steelers. The pass out to McCausland was intercepted by Craigwell. Double teaming out there as Weaver was taken off the play. Wilson hits the red line and fires it in. Goaltender Torchik drives it along the boards. Weaver traps it, and Longstaff throws it to the far side of the rink. Long pass up. Keiko couldn't get a stick on it. Goaltender has to come out and puts it along. Craigwell almost got on the end of it, and he eventually does. Somehow dragged it along the boards, gets it back. Wilson puts it towards the net. Weaver was right there. Goaltender was down, and he missed the cage completely. Bedard going after his man eventually falls. That bobbles in front. Little chop there by Sebastian. Ends up in the corner. Immonen. Backhander to the blue. And eventually it trickles out of the zone. The Steelers have to come out of the zone to avoid the offside, but they weren't able to do it in time, and the whistle blows with 1:47 left on the period. Good forechecking from the Steelers, and in particular this guy here, David Longstaff. You can't say enough about him. He's so aggressive.
Sebastian shot going in. Weaver, who had been another guy forechecking and working hard in the corners. Sure, he'd like to have another chance at that one. Close call. Good work by Craigwell, Longstaff, and Weaver on that shift.
5-on-5 situation out there with Brabant. And Kupka being asked to leave the face-off circle. Short takes it back deep. Salonen shadows out front. Brabant goes up on the left. Long pass up the middle, and here come the Steelers. Metcalf looking for Brabant. 80 is there. Goaltender gloves it and forces the face-off. Too many black shirts out there for his liking. Another change of personnel for both teams with 1:27 left on this period. 1-0, the Steelers leading the Jesters in this B&H Cup final. The Steelers leading the Seconda Super League. But still a long way to go in that competition too. VL takes the shot. Goaltender is dropped. And as that comes out, Binns gets it up to Arkeoma. Arkeoma struggles on the far side. Second, third attempt. Eventually bangs it along the boards. Back deep. Steelers now. Starting up slowly. 1 minute left on the period. Long pass right up the middle. Goaltender grabs that off the plexi. Poirier tries to move it. Eventually gets along. Oates couldn't get on that. Smith was there first. Alcides rams it away but gives it right to Roberts. Jesters looking for places to go as they struggle to throw the passes together here in the dying seconds of this first period. Smith just drives it in as the Steelers go for another change. Alcides throws it over to the far side. Binns off the boards. Jesters now just firing it in. They want fresh players out on the ice because that line definitely wasn't working. Fenton unable to get it, but Swarsa drove it into the far corner. Long pass up the middle. Swarsa now drops it back with 7 seconds. McCausland gets it to the far side. Jesters will be happy just to throw it down the ice, and they do just that. Caught on the hop by the goaltender, and there goes the buzzer to end the first period. An excellent first period, fast, physical, with Simpson picking up the only goal of the hockey game. It was a shorthanded affair on a pass from Rick Brabant. It started to get physical after that and eventually calmed down, but we have 40 minutes of hockey to go, so anything could happen. But right now, Sheffield are leading it 1-0.
Yeah, it isn't often Sheffield lose once they've taken control. And Chris and Terry, what do you make of that first period? First of all, Terry.
Well, I thought that Sheffield had a lot of pressure in the Newcastle end, but for most of the period, Newcastle played it really smart. They kept everything on the outside of the prime scoring area, which is right in front of the goaltender. I thought their goaltender showed pretty good poise. Just that one mistake on the power play there where obviously they were able to get the puck to Simpson, who's got great speed, was able to come up and score.
Okay, much more analysis from Chris and Terry straight after this break. Welcome back to the Sheffield Arena. The Steelers leading after the first period, 1-0. Now, I believe you had a bit of interference on your picture. I do apologise for that. It's a long way from Sheffield to London when you're going via Jupiter or something like that. Anyway, Mike Blaisdell's the happy man at the moment. Rachel Watley's been speaking to him.
That was a good period for us. I thought we created a lot of chances, and we could have had a couple more. We defended well. We killed the penalties well. I've got to be happy that all the guys seem to be ready to play tonight, and it is a great atmosphere, but Newcastle are making things tough on us. They're a good hockey club.
What do you see as the strategy for the next half, the next period? Is it going to be pretty much the same?
Yeah, we set a goal to make sure we win each period and just treat them all as 3 little games. So we did the job in the first period. We just go out again, and we're pressuring them and trying to create scoring chances. I think that's the only way to win hockey games at this level. We're not going to sit back and let them come to us. They're a very skilled hockey team. We're taking them off the puck very well tonight, though.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I said he should be a happy man anyway. His team are 1-0 up. Chris, do you think they deserve to be 1-0 up?
Well, actually, I do. I think what's happened here is I think Newcastle showing Sheffield maybe a little too much respect. Newcastle might be 5-on-5, even strength, one of the best teams in the Super League, and they're uncharacteristically making quite a few what I might consider nervous bobbles in their own zone. And Sheffield's had the majority of the scoring chance, and they absolutely deserve to be one up, if not 2 or 3.
And Terry, Kent Simpson, it was a great goal, wasn't it? Great individual skills by him.
Well, it was an outstanding goal. I think when you take a look at the team speed that Sheffield has, it's outstanding. And their penalty killers have very, very good team speed. You know, you take a look at a guy like Brent Bobick, Kent Simpson, who scored the goal. Warren Norris has got very good speed. And what happens is when one guy gets the puck on his hockey stick in the defensive zone for Sheffield, usually that weak side forward is going to take off, and that's what Simpson did in that particular case. He saw an opportunity, he took advantage of it, and Halkitis, who's trying to hold the line there, finds himself a little bit behind. Came back hard, tried to put the stick on the player, but Ken Simpson made an outstanding move.
It must be great for a coach to see your individual players showing such skills like that, Chris.
Well, especially a blue-collar worker like Simpson. I mean, he's a notorious 10th forward, but he's a high-energy guy. What he likes to do is create the energy, and he got them on the board here early.
Yeah, certainly. Can you see the Jesters coming back, though, because they've got to come up against players like Simpson, and, well, this is the goal. It really was terrific play from one end of the ring to the other.
Well, you can see there, the player, Sheffield player gets the puck on the sidewall. Simpson takes off through the middle. They get the puck up to him, and he finishes off the scoring chance. Halkitis gives him a little bit extra at the end. I think that's good for I think that's good for Newcastle to do that, though. I mean, obviously he's a little upset that the goal was scored, and he finishes off the check. But great play by Simpson. Goaltenders tried to poke check there, misses the puck, and you'll see now Ken Simpson put it in behind the goaltender. Tries to poke check, he misses it. Simpson puts it in the back of the net.
Chris, before face-off, we were talking it could be a bit of a physical encounter, and after that goal, it certainly proved that way.
Well, it's important. Again, the only way I think Newcastle's going to back Sheffield off is with some physical encounters. And watch Daniel Lacroix get a little bit more inside of Torchia's kitchen, get down in the paint and start creating some action.
But Jesters certainly still in this game, aren't they?
Well, very much so. And again, I mean, they got way too much heart over in that room, but the only thing they got a lot of heart in Newcastle, but Sheffield is just burdened with a lot of guys, abundance with a lot of guys who know the way to the Benson Hedges Cup.
Okay, thanks for the moment, gentlemen. Well, earlier on this afternoon here in the House of Steel, we saw the plate final in the B&H Cup. It was between the Basingstoke Bisons and the Guildford Flames. Paul Ferguson and Richard Beaufret will take you through it.
Guildford Flames in the lighter jerseys, moving the puck from left to right. Stephen Foster in goal for Basingstoke, who won this competition last year, was up and down, standing on his head throughout the entire 60 minutes of the hockey game. He was one of the key players in this game, and you'll see why as we go through these highlights. Foster again coming up big.
Guildford creating opportunities. They've got good offense. They went right to work early, but it was Stephen Foster who was going to have the final say as he was on fire.
Flames won this competition in '98. They wanted it again this year, but they had to beat number 33. That was a difficult task.
Great individual effort by Kerry Biet, but to no avail. Again, Basingstoke just shutting them down when they needed to, and Foster coming up with the saves.
First period action. Difficult to put the puck in the net for both teams. Foster at one end, MacArthur at the other. Basingstoke now putting on a little pressure.
Good shot from Redmond on that one. MacArthur called upon.
Stan Marple, the coach for Guildford. Now, second period action after a scoreless first period. Redmond got it in front, and there's goal number one. Joe Baird, 5'9". All he needed was a little space.
He could have been 7'9" on that play. He had a lot of room. Nobody near him in the slot. He's wide open. There's an area a player should never be left alone. Look at the room and the time he has there. He puts the puck away.
Well, that brought this good crowd to life. Play continue in the second period, and again, it's Basingstoke with the pressure on. Power play situation. First shot is stopped, but Daniels is there to pick up the rebound and put it upstairs into the roof of the net.
Good discipline by Basingstoke. They had the power play. They set it up very nicely. Daniels, the guy down low, working the puck. He ends up collecting the first pass. The shot was there. Daniels smartly comes back into the play, gets himself going. The rebound is there.
Well, just when everybody thought that the Bison were going to run away with this, Guildford put on the pressure, and some great saves again from the goalie at the other end of the rink.
Foster showing how quick he is with the legs. Some great pad saves, a kick save. was all over the place. A big crowd in the building from the northeastern part of England enjoying it as Foster is one of their boys.
3-on-2, 2-on-1. It was all happening down at the left side of the rink, but they just couldn't beat the kid again. Stephen Foster, kick saves, glove saves. Time running down on the second period. A lot of pressure coming from Guildford. They wanted this one bad, and eventually they got what they wanted. Rick Plant, Jennings and Campbell helping to set it up.
Good speed from Plant. He's got his head up. He walks around Foster, who's committed himself, and finally gets Guildford on the scoreboard.
Third and final period. 2-1 scoreline. The Bison in the lead, but far from over. Wayne Crawford coming up big. 13 years the Canadians played in this country, getting his just rewards there.
Old reliable Wayne Crawford slipping in from his defensive spot. He is so smart. Nick Chin, the provider, the pass is on the stick. Crawford isn't going to miss a chance like that.
Time running out. It's all tied up. Bison on a power play situation. Net wide open. Richard Little, not so little, 6'2", comes up with the biggest goal of the game.
Rich Little wide open on the off wing. Redmond doing a lot of work. The pass fell very nicely for Little, though, and it's a second power play goal of the game for Basingstoke. Redmond looking to the net. It's off a skate right there. Thank you very much, says Rich Little.
Guildford tried everything, but just couldn't come up with that tying goal. They took their goaltender out, put on an extra attacker, but in the end, it was Basingstoke Bison who came up with the trophy, the B&H plate. Stephen Foster, the big man.
Well, like they always say, it's a 60-minute hockey game, and you know, we took our time. I know it's a hard game. Guildford, a really good team. You know, they're solid. They play good offensive hockey, and we just got to, you know, bear down, play defensively, and take our chances that we given. And that's what happened. We did. We took our chances and we put them away. And we got a power play in the last thing, and we got a power play goal. And you know, what more can you ask? And it was absolutely wonderful.
Great hat, hey. Okay, so the Bison retaining their plate here this afternoon. It's live ice hockey here on British Eurosport. After the break, the second period of the Steelers against the Jesters. Yes, hello and welcome back to Sheffield. The Steelers leading 1-0 against the Jesters in this B&H Cup final. Chris, just wanted to make the point about Dennis Viala and that elbow in the first period, because you thought it could have an impact on the eventual outcome of this final.
Well, it's going to if referee Rowe doesn't allow Denny Viala to play his intimidating style. It's going to take a lot of wind out of the real intimidating fact that Sheffield, they're here because of the fact they do back a lot of teams off.
They are a physical team, aren't they, Terry?
Well, they play with a lot of intensity, and it comes from everybody on their hockey club. And the one thing, as Chris already mentioned, if the referee takes a little bit of that away from them, or puts them in a position where they maybe think about giving a little bit extra, that'll allow Newcastle to get their skilled players involved in the game, and they're going to have to be there for them if they're going to win this game.
Well, as you can see, the players are on the ice. It's over for the second period to Richard and Paul.
Thank you, Chris. Second period action, 1-0, Steelers leading it. They're playing from right to left. Everyone's back in their seats now in this capacity crowd. We're trying to find out if we have a record here tonight. They haven't announced the number of people that have paid for tickets here. We tried to count them during the periods, but they keep moving around. They wouldn't sit for us. So we don't know, but we hope we'll have that figure, and we think it is a record. Steelers now trying to move it out, giving it to Oates, who scored so many goals in this competition. 8 to be exact, with 3 assists. Will be the man they'll look to try to put the puck in the net. He's on fire, but he can't do it alone. Steelers are watching him, and they're relying on their heavy goaltender, Mike Torchia. Face off in the zone. McCosh for the Steelers. Slams on the brakes, pumps it to the far side. Back behind the net, Swarsa got a tip. McCosh looks up, his pass is intercepted. That's brought in over the line, delayed offside. Eventually the whistle goes and play is stopped. Well, back in 1997, the Steelers went for a record, the musical kind, and they came up with Drop the Bomb and Whoosh, It's Behind You. They recorded a CD in the studios, and this year they tried to do it again with a follow-up to Whoosh, It's Behind You, and they called it Whoosh 2K. So, quite a talented team in the recording studio and on the ice. Bobbling puck thrown all the way down the ice by the Jesters. The Canadian women's national cross-country ski team tried to do the same a while ago, and they discovered that their voices weren't that good, so they did the next best thing, and that is take their clothes off for a calendar. Shot right on the target by Poirier. It was all done in the best possible taste, and it was done in a warm studio. Poirier dropped it back. Alcides. Fenton, rocket of a shot, cleared away. Simpson squeezed out of the play as the pace picks up here in the second period. The point of that little conversation was to show that teams will do what they have to do to raise money for their clubs, their charities, and their sport. And the Steelers are no exception. Big trip right at the blue line. We have a stoppage in play. Mike Rowe getting the hand up. Slashing is his call on Lacroix.
Another example of a defenseman taking charge of the situation, not only just staying back to help out the goaltender, but being able to carry the puck up into the attacking zone. Shane McCosh, he's got good wheels for a defenseman. He makes this happen by carrying the puck down the ice, creates a crowd, slash, a trip, call it what you like. He's down, and the result is that Sheffield will have the man advantage for 2 minutes. Lacroix in the penalty box.
This is how they started the first period. It's not the kind of thing that the Jesters want or need. Steelers' third power play of the game. Sebastian back deep. Longstaff goes up on the right side. The puck goes up the middle to Craigwell. Craigwell with that choppy, quick skating style. Sebastian drives it in back over the goal line. That comes right out front. Craigwell shot. Oh, look what I thought. Satasari, biggest save of the game so far.
Well, it's Craigwell's skating ability and Brabant's heads-up experience here as he has great vision. He just feathers that pass through. Craigwell had moved from one side of the ice out into the slot. Quick shot, good glove save by Satasari. Rick Brabant sees him, puts the puck right on his stick. Craigwell with a shot, good save.
Young goaltender from Finland coming up big in that occasion. Kosh went off the ice as the Steelers made a quick change out there. Sebastian rattles that back into the corner. Longstaff let it go and then goes after it, tries to poke it through, gets it back to Craigwell, who gets it over. Sebastian shot! Save is there as it bobbles into the corner. Alcides unable to get on it. Sebastian now winds up, goes for goal. The stick save is there. Craigwell unable to get it away from Swarsa. Binns is back there in a hurry. Sebastian winds up, takes the shot, and the Steelers eventually grab it right at the blue line as the Jesters were a little slow to jump on that. It would have been a great opportunity to get things moving the other way. Sebastian lost it, gave it to Weaver. Craigwell is there, he wants it back, and the Jesters are changing on the fly.
On the fly at the wrong time as well. The play was going into their zone. They had two players on the ice. Very quickly, two forwards trying to hustle out there to make things a little closer.
Lacroix standing up, but he's still got 29 seconds left on the penalty. Immonen into the corner. Immonen will just put it back behind the cage. Poirier on the far side will take it back in. Craigwell, who's been out there for a while now, trying to give it to Longstaff. That doesn't work, and the Jesters keep it in. Poirier doing a great job of killing off the seconds in that far corner and gets a Well-deserved round of applause. He keeps it there, and the penalty seconds tick down. 9 are left on the clock.
Craigwell going for a change.
Face-off comes out of the zone because the puck was frozen by a Jester deep in the zone. 16:22 left on the period. Allison slides it back nicely. Smith on the left wing, pumps it off the plexi in the far corner. Keiko falls. Norris goes in. Eamon is there, and Lacroix gets back on the ice for the Jesters. They're back at full strength. 4 minutes gone on the first period. Jesters now coming back. Keiko slides it forward. Lacroix got a tip. Bedard at the side of the net. Bedard taps it back in, and Kupka couldn't get a handle on it. Allison now has it with a 3-on-3 situation. Simpson, who picked up that goal in the first period, unable to move it. McCosh fires it in deep. Simpson goes after it. Allison is there in a hurry. The far side is Wilson. Wilson along the boards, a bobbling puck. Bedard tries to get on it, and he falls right at the blue line and then goes to the bench for a rest. Vial hits the blue, drives it right at the cage. Goaltender dropped it! Oh, almost a nightmare as that came down on the right side of the goal line for him.
And you can bet the goaltender is going to check the catching glove out. There's obviously a technical problem with his equipment here. He's going to want to blame that catching glove. A little casual, takes his eye off the play. He's already decided what he's doing before he's got the goods. Close one there. Sadasari scampering back just to keep the puck in the crease.
Thrown to the far side as McCausland tried to get on it. Didn't work. Intercepted. And a chance now for Oates. Oates, good shot, gunning for the near post. Goaltender got a pad on it, and that squeezes through along the boards with Wilson going back after it. Roberts is right on his tail. Archioma on the far side. No one coming to get him. Eventually, Brabant is there. Oates just flips it to the far side of the rink. Brabant looks around. There's no one there to help. Loses control. The backhander with no steam on it. Swarsa tried to spin around, and it's driven off the boards. Oates couldn't get on it. A chance now for 80, but he can't get there either. Oates has to come back and deflect it into the zone. Delayed penalty on the play. Jesters take their goalie off. They got an extra attacker. As soon as the Steelers touch the puck, the whistle will blow because the penalty is against them. Jesters now with an open net, but an extra attacker. Start it up. Get it to the far side of the rink. Getting it in now. As soon as the puck is touched, the whistle blows, and we'll have a face-off in the zone with 14:15 left on this second period. Power play situation.
Rick Brabant for tripping. And this is a situation that Newcastle have really got to work on. In their last 7 games, they're now 1 goal for 30 attempts with a man advantage.
So Brabant sits for a couple face-off in the zone. Weaver, or Norris rather, correction, spins around, can only get it to the blue line. Mosner kept it in. Injured player down on the ice. Play is stopped. And as that puck went in over the goal line, Norris getting up very slowly, looking around.
Norris going over to Mike Rowe to show him a little bit of blood. He's cut on the bridge of the nose. Stick has come around. You can call it accidental all you want. It is a penalty, but obviously the referee hasn't seen that one. Norris is not happy as he kind of goes bleeding over to the penalty box, or over to the bench rather.
Lacroix got the stick in there. As you said, folks, I think it was accidental.
But it doesn't matter. It's a penalty, but Mike Rowe was in a position where he couldn't see that one.
Well, everyone on the giant screen to the right of us could see that. And they're not happy because most of them here support the Steelers. They wanted a call. Mosner on the far side. Got it over, or on the near side rather. Got it through and tipped it along the boards. Poirier, who works so hard, winds up. His shot is deflected high. Fenton along the boards. Simpson is right on his tail. Poirier gets it back. Mosner wants it here along the blue line. They elect to go down in the boards. Poirier takes a shot. Whoa, right off the post.
Nice play, Halkitis to Fenton. Fenton very quickly putting that puck right on Poirier's stick in the slot. That's a great save.
1:11 left on the power play. Oates. Archioma. Halkitis to the far side of the rink. Recovers, but Swarsa watched that go off his skate. Couldn't control it. They're going to have to do better than that. 56 seconds remaining on this power play for the Jesters. Back they come through neutralized territory. Bobbling puck. McCausland tries to trap it along the boards and does. Shot along the boards. All the way deep into the zone. And the Jesters coming back strong. Long clearance in, and I momentarily lose a bit of sound there, and eventually got it back. Bobbling puck goes over to the far side. Still a power play situation for 16 seconds. And McCosh on the far side collects and moves it down the ice. McCosh squeezed out of the play nicely by Binns, but McCosh stays right in there and tries to move it. Binns stays right with him. And we're going to have another stoppage in play and another penalty.
Well, Mike Rowe going to the hips as well. That means a misconduct on somebody. Shane McCosh working along the boards. Binns was all over him. Binns, the defenseman, on the play, just trying to keep himself between the net and Shane McCosh, who had other ideas. Binns was given a holding penalty. Mike Rowe went to the hip. Somebody's getting unsportsmanlike or a misconduct here. He's pointing to the penalty box. Somebody else will be heading that way. Shane McCosh sitting on the team bench for Sheffield, and that's Craig Binns in the penalty box for Newcastle.
12:15 remaining on this second period.
17:45, Newcastle number 42, Craig Binns. 2 minutes for holding and 10 minutes for
Well, he gets 2 minutes for a holding and a 10-minute misconduct. I have to question that in the final.
Coming across the ice is David Clark, number 5. He will serve the minor penalty for Craig Binns, and Binns is going to have a 10-minute rest.
Craigwell back at the blue, got it in. Steelers set it up. So Jesters will be short for 2 minutes out there. Longstaff, another penalty coming up. Referee looking around to wait till the puck is touched. And another stoppage in play, and the fans here are not happy.
Cross-checking call. That one is going against Lacroix. Lacroix not happy. And that's going to be a 5-on-3 situation for Sheffield now. We just said David Clark is serving the 2-minute penalty to Binns. If you're given a personal misconduct penalty, the team does not play shorthanded. So Binns' 10-minute penalty is down to him, and the team will not be penalized for it. But now there are 3 players in the penalty box as Lacroix has joined Clark and Binns. His call is for cross-checking.
Face-off deep in Jesters territory, a 5-on-3 situation. Longstaff to McCosh. Sebastian McCosh, who's got that big shot, elects to put it into the circle. Winds up, a dribbler goes right beside the net. Longstaff was right there, tried to get it on the backhand. Sebastian feeds it over. McCosh is there again. Sebastian rattles that at the cage, and it deflects away, and it's out over the blue line. And the offside whistle blows as the Steelers tried to bring it back in, but it was well and truly an offside call. Lots of pressure with 1:17 left on the first penalty and 1:38 left on the second.
Sheffield 1 for 30 in recent power play opportunities, 17%, rated 4th.
Weaver moves into the face-off circle. Archioma is there. Weaver gives it a little tap, and Longstaff collects it over on the right wing. Brabant is on this side. Longstaff to Brabant. Nice pass over. A one-timer from a sharp angle, scores! Oh, power play goal. Steelers take a 2-goal lead with 11:19 left on this second period.
You can see that one coming. The setup was there. Jason Weaver had the gun loaded. It was cocked and ready to go. All he had to do was pull the trigger, and he does in a hurry. One-timer and sends that one into the back of the net. The play going from the left side all the way over to the right. Left-handed shot in a one-time situation, and he drills that one into the back of the Newcastle net. Short-handed goal by Simpson and a power play goal by Weaver. The special teams doing their job here for Sheffield.
Well, it's a 5-on-4 situation now. Steelers still with the man advantage. The goal was scored on a 5-on-3. Craigwell with 1:11 on the power play. A chance to build on that lead. 80 takes it to the near side. 80 into the corner. Heads up, gets it all the way back to Craigwell. The return pass into the corner. Metcalf right in front. Smith rather on the far side, taken out by Poirier. Still it's Steelers, throwing the puck around with confidence as Craigwell moves in and eventually backs off. Allison taking a beating out front as he gets back on his feet. Halkidi's giving him a hard time, some tripping out there as Allison is dumped, still no call from the referee. Allison, backhander save is right there. Metcalf moves in, he's dumped and back come the Jesters. 25 seconds left on the power play. Fenton takes a lazy shot at the goal. Halkidi's races into the corner, takes a big chop on Craigwell, stays up there, tries to make things happen, eventually got a stick on it and goes to the bench as that goes back in the corner. 7 seconds on the power play as Lacroix gets set to jump back on the ice. Metcalf tried to take a poke at that. Craigwell and Metcalf. Metcalf moving in, takes the shot, deflected away. Lacroix scoots back as the Jesters, back at full strength, move up with Salonen. He's taken out of the play. Right at the blue line, the long pass ends up on Wilson's stick. We have 9:34 remaining on this period, and the Jesters need to get back in this hockey game. They need to stay out of the penalty box, that's for sure. They haven't got the depth. Long clearance down the ice. Wilson will get there first. The icing whistle blows, and face-off will go back into Steelers territory.
That was the best shift of the game for Scott Allison and Scott Metcalf. They've been quiet in this game, and it tells you how well-balanced and how strong the Sheffield team is. Allison's got 5 goals and 2 assists in the tournament. Scott Metcalf, 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 points, a real team leader. They've been kind of quiet in this game, but Sheffield, with the special teams, like we said, are doing the job. A shorthanded effort, a power play goal. They really are a well-balanced team all the way through the lineup.
Roberts, nice little poke to get it out of the zone. McCausland chops at that, comes all the way back in. Steelers back deep, started up. Norris goes one way. Simpson on this side wanted it. That goes all the way down to Satasari's doorstep. Mosner throws it around the boards to the far side of the ring. Oates right at the blue line, lets it ride to come out of the zone, and it's just pushed right back in. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left on the period. Little pass over onto the near side as McCausland ran into trouble. Norris was right in his face, tries to get it across the ice, and it was deflected away, and back come the Jesters. Archioma tries to get into shooting position. Eventually lets the shot go. That ends back on Sebastian's skate, kicks it away, and here come the Steelers. Simpson, rink-wide pass. Norris slides it over. Roberts shot on the target, and Satasari come up with a save. Taken out of the play with Oates tidying up, takes it deep. Both teams changing on the fly as we come up to the final 8 minutes in this period. Bedard, who's been quiet in this hockey game, just floats it in. The goaltender floats it back down the ice. Keiko back in a hurry. 8 minutes now. Time ticking down. Lots of hockey to play. Jesters fans starting to get behind their team. They know this one is far from over, but they can't allow the Steelers to stretch that lead anymore.
Newcastle starting to try and look for the longer passes. They've got to be smarter about their line changes as well. A couple of times they've nearly been caught with guys going off the ice when the play is going at their net.
But they are trying now to open up the Sheffield defense a little bit.
Smith slows it down. Craigwell goes up on the right side. Bobick on the left takes a hit there from Bedard. Keiko back in a hurry, backpedals, tries to get away from Craigwell and does. Eventually pumps it off to Plexi. That bounces out for 80. 80 tried to feed it through. It didn't happen. The second attempt, he put it in the corner, and Keiko is there to collect. Jesters with a bit of room now. Penalty coming up. Goaltender for the Jesters off the ice. It'll be a power play situation for the Jesters as Lacroix goes against McCosh, charging the call. Stoppage in play with 7:14 left on the period.
Brent Bobick's going to be going to the penalty box for Sheffield. Charging is the call. It really wasn't much of a hit, but he'd left his feet as he attempted to hit the Newcastle player, and it looked a little more dramatical than it was. But Sheffield will go to the penalty box for the 4th time in this game. Newcastle will have a power play.
Face off deep in the Steelers zone. 2-0. Steelers leading the Jesters. We are live on British Eurosport. In case you've just joined us, we hope you will enjoy this hockey game. If you have been watching it from the opening face-off, I'm sure you'll be still with us because it is one of the best hockey games we've been able to bring to you since we started bringing games back in October, I think it was. Oates slams on the brakes at the hash marks. Back behind the goal line. This guy can do it if anybody can, but he's not going to do it if the puck doesn't stay on his stick. Coughlin got it over, looks for the return pass. Archioma drops back as the Steelers change on the fly. Archioma right up the middle. Blue line is stacked. Delayed call on the offside as Swarsa brought it over. Steelers relaxed and eventually the whistle blew. Face-off will come outside the zone. Still 1:21 on the power play.
Newcastle need a goal. You can see they're starting to struggle a little bit. Their heads are going down. They look frustrated. They haven't really had many good bounces. Sheffield have capitalized a couple times in this game, and it's always going to be tough trying to come back against the Steelers. But Newcastle just can't quite seem to get anything going right now.
They need some good shots on goal. Poirier races into the corner. Longstaff squeezes that against the woodwork. That squirts out. And the Jesters now. McCaughlin's stick is broken. It's a 2-on-2, but McCaughlin is without his stick. Longstaff taken out of the play by McCaughlin, who, as I said, was without the stick, and now we're going the other way. Fenton along the right side. Fenton tries to get it out front, but McCosh is right in his face, getting back in a hurry. The Steelers quick to get it as far as the blue line anyway, and that's a giveaway. McCaughlin eventually finds an opening and gets it beyond Mosner. Goaltender. Not a great pass from him as that went all the way down the ice, and the goaltenders play a bit of ping pong out there. This time Craigwell gets on the end of it. Mosner stays with him, but Craigwell is shifty. Allison tries to dipsy doodle through. That doesn't happen. A little chop there by Sebastian gets it in the corner. 5.5 minutes left on the period. Jesters with Bedard on the right side. Craigwell hits him, but the pass comes up for Wilson. Wilson drop back. Kupka unable to get it through and get the shot away. You can see the Jesters are trying everything with Wilson breaking through. The big defenseman trying to get shots on goal, and that's what they need.
They do, but just as Bobick comes on the ice now to make it even strength hockey, what I was saying earlier, the things just aren't happening. The communication isn't there right now. They look frustrated, the Jesters. The goaltender trying to pass the puck, and it's an errant pass, doesn't end up on the stick of anybody. McCausland has a good opportunity from the point. His stick breaks in half. I mean, they just can't find the solution right now to getting something past Torcha and the Sheffield goal.
A long clearance in by Adam Smith goes over the plexi into the stands, and we'll have a face-off in neutralized territory. 4:44 remaining on this second period. 2-0, the Steelers leading the Jesters. And one or two concerned looks from Jukka Jalonen, the Jesters coach. It's far from over, but if you're not getting the shots on goal, there's no chance you're going to score. Vial chased by Archioma. Oates unable to get on it. Emanen working with Oates. Oates now from the corner. Sharp angle shot. Dial drives it off the woodwork. Emanen pops it back in. The Jesters have to come out of the zone to avoid the offside. They do that. Get back in there now. Norris goes one way. The puck comes the other. Up on the wing to Metcalf. It didn't work. Oates was in there with a nice little interception. Short on the far side is able to get it out. Swarsa away from Metcalf. Oates fires it up the middle. Fenton got the tip. Long pass. Craigwell looked like he was offside, but they didn't whistle it down. Metcalf spins around, gets it up to Craigwell in the corner. Craigwell dumps it back. Metcalf moves into the circle, gets the pass. A lot of bobbing and weaving out there with 80. Metcalf doing a lot of hard work along with Craigwell. The three of them providing some entertaining moments. Short passes. Chance now for Lacroix. Puts it through the skates, but McCosh is there to clear it away. Roberts down the ice. Alcides stops, goes the other way, and the Jesters now. Long, rink-wide pass. Poirier can't get it. Fenton is there to collect and take it as far as the blue. Gets it in the circle, but again, it's slammed out. Mosner drives it back in. Jesters need to get it in the zone and control it for at least 1 or 2 seconds, but they're running out of time in this period. Bobby got it back. Roberts, sharp angle shot on the near side. Bedard with a burst of speed. Bedard gets it right across the top of the crease. No one there who was on their feet anyway to pick it up. Clark was nose into the ice. A chance now on the far side for Craigwell. There's no one with him, so he elects to dump it in with 2:39 left on the period.
The shifts are getting shorter and shorter for both teams now. This game's been played at a good pace, and it has been physical. So both teams are cutting right down on the time on the ice. They're making sure fresh players are out there.
Kupka lost his glove out there, but continued to play.
He lost everything except his credit cards on that one. Hooking is the call. And it's going to be Jason Weaver heading into the penalty box for Sheffield.
Well, they've got time to see this one out with 2:25 left on the period.
This is the 5th power play opportunity now for Newcastle. In their last 2 man advantage situations, they've only mustered 1 shot at the Sheffield net. So they've really got to put something together here. There's the call going against Weaver.
Face off just inside the zone. Oates tried to poke it through as that comes back to Sebastian. Sebastian looks for an opening. It didn't happen for him. Archioma couldn't poke it away. Vial drives it all the way down the ice as Wilson is back there to collect. 2:12 left on the period.
Kent Simpson out there penalty killing. He's the guy that scored the shorthanded goal in the first period. He's got 3 shorthanded goals this season, and he's an excellent penalty killer.
Mosner to the far side of the rink. Archioma on the near side now. Archioma along the boards. Winds up. Shot is there. Rebound comes in. Swarsa couldn't get a stick on it. Oates was trying to get a handle on it. Now Oates is there. Vial doing a great job of muscling in the corner to keep everyone away from that puck as long as possible. Wilson has to go back deep once again, and the Steelers and the Jesters change on the fly. 1:07 on the power play. Wilson hits the blue line. Tried to get it in. It didn't work. They're just not making it work when they hit that blue line. They're trying to stick handle through instead of dumping it in. Mosner on the near side. 52 seconds on the power play. Lacroix with a delayed offside. It's not pretty right now for the Jesters. It's just not happening. Their timing is not there.
It isn't, but you've got to give Sheffield credit as well. They know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. They don't have any guy on their bench trying to be a hero. They play well as a team, and they know what they have to do. Denny Vial in that last shift, the man isn't paid to score goals. He isn't even paid to really try to outsmart anybody out there. His job is to clear the front of the net, ice the puck, play the body, and that's what he does very well.
McCosh to Craigwell. Craigwell takes it along the boards and drags it back and throws it back on the defense. Long clearance in by Short. 1 minute left on the period. 30 seconds now on the power play. Jesters now moving forward. Jesters back on the attack. Can they string it together? Poirier hammered along the boards. flies short. McCosh goes in and gets physical as well. 16 seconds left on this penalty.
Craig Well and Allison were on the ice about 15 seconds there, and they went straight off the ice, and two guys have come out. Now it's Longstaff and Brabant to have their go on the penalty kill.
29 seconds on the period. Salonen drops it back. Kupka got it across, a deflected puck, got it away from Bedard. And back on the ice is Weaver. Weaver goes in as he comes out of the box, scores! Oh, with 16 seconds left on the period, that is a killer of a goal.
Weaver's second goal of the game, and now Sheffield has scored at even strength, shorthanded, and on the power play. They've done it all. Very smart hockey by Sheffield. Not only did Weaver get himself in a position to score, but the pass was a long one. It was on his stick. He went in on the goaltender, kept the puck on the forehand, and got the goal. Long pass down the ice. There's Weaver camped out on the blue line, fresh out of the penalty box. What a chance for him, and he makes the most of it. Pass coming from David Longstaff was a beauty. Longstaff very alertly feeding that puck up the ice. It just adds to his point total. 5 goals, 9 assists now. 14 points for David Longstaff in the B&H Cup.
7 seconds left on the period. Weaver again trying to get in and takes a shot. Shoots right on the goal. Satisari grabs it with just 1 second left on the period. What a finish for the second period by the Steelers.
And this is where you've got to look at the stands. Sheffield supporters, they know hockey, they love their hockey here, on their feet, giving Jason Weaver a standing ovation for this individual effort in itself, much less the goal that he just scored.
He's dragged down, he's falling, he's on the ice, and he still gets the shot away. Determination, guts, and a lot of spirit from the face-off. It's dragged just a couple of feet, and the buzzer goes to end a very successful second period for the Sheffield Steelers. It was 1-0 after the first 20 minutes, and then Weaver came up big on the power play, and then with equal players out on the ice to make it 3-0, and that's the way it stands after 40 minutes of hockey. But don't go away. We still have a third and final period.
Yeah, we still do have another 20 minutes to go in this B&H Cup final, but Chris and Terry, is it all over?
Well, it's never over, but let's be honest here, that's the worst time to give up a goal. They have a power play opportunity, they're starving for offense, they're trying to do everything they possibly can to get themselves back in the game. They don't score on the power play, and then of course Weaver comes out of the box and he's Johnny on the spot. Longstaff makes a great pass to him, Weaver makes a great move. We find Sheffield up now 3-0, so it's going to be a real gut check for the Newcastle Jesters in between the second and third.
Yeah, Chris, what were the Jesters playing at? They seem to have more players in the sin bin than they had on the bench at one stage.
Well, that'll definitely kill you because Sheffield is so strong in all certain aspects of the game that Newcastle better start right now to believe that they're in a hockey game, because there's no tomorrow. They're going to be going home in about 20 minutes, either happy or sad, and if they don't, they have not shown or displayed any aspect of tonight's contest that they can take Sheffield in any part of it.
And Jason Weaver has just taken advantage of all the, all the play that they've had, hasn't he?
Well, I thought that Jason Weaver, again, he is very opportunistic. The key there is when Sheffield's had their opportunities, they get the 5-on-3 power play. Jason Weaver's in good shape there for the one-timer. Then, of course, when he comes out of the penalty box, he scores a goal when he has to.
Well, Rachel Watley now has Jukka Jalonen with her. Can the Jesters come back in this game?
Jukka, is there any way back for you now?
We have to see. We have to pick it up because we are playing badly, very badly. I'm not happy at all at the moment, and we are not skating enough, and if you are not skating, you can't win hockey games.
What will you say to the guys in the dressing room during this break? What will you change?
We have to wake up. It's the last time. Now we have a small chance still to win this game, but obviously we have to play a lot better than the first two periods. And everybody individually have to pick it up, skate better, work harder, hit the people, play smarter. So it's simple as that.
Thanks very much, Jukka.
Thanks.
Well, there we go. Well, let's have a look back at those two Weaver goals then, first of all, Chris. And, well, they were killers, really, weren't they? The first one coming quite early on.
Well, this definitely hurts right here, being up on a 5-on-3. And, I mean, he makes a great shot off the pass. And, I mean, that's a high-skilled shot. And Weaver's he's a prominent player on this level, and he's a premier hockey player.
And they really had to score in that situation, a 5-on-3 and power play.
It would a huge momentum shift if Newcastle was able to kill off that 5-on-3. But Sheffield had to score. If not, I believe Newcastle would be right in this game if they stop this 5-on-3.
There it was 2-0, and then Terry, of course, it came 3 just before the end of the period.
Well, like I said earlier, it's the worst time to give up a goal. You just get done having a 2-minute power play. Weaver comes out of the box. The key is he stays on sides, gets the puck in his hockey stick, makes a great forehand move, puts it behind the goaltender.
It's so difficult to say, Chris. Is it good play by the Steelers or poor play from the Jesters?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. And again, there's about 7,000 or 8,000 people sitting on the Steelers bench here tonight. But Newcastle just, I mean, I wish I played that team in the semifinals, but Newcastle hasn't brought their A game tonight.
Okay, well, after the break, we'll be going over to Sports Centre with Faye Davis, and then these two guys will be telling me how the Jesters are going to come back into this final. That's all after the break. Yes, and welcome back to the House of Steel, where the Steelers are leading 3-0 in this B&H Cup final. And Chris and Terry, is there any way back for Newcastle? There has to be hope for them, surely.
Well, there is. I mean, they have to come out of that locker room with a charge going. And I know the heart they have on that team with the guys like Joe Poyes and Danny Lacroix, and they got to come out and they got to go take the game to Sheffield. Terry made a great point earlier this evening about how well Mike Torchia handles the puck. If they don't make smart dumps, get their feet around those pucks, and try to get Sheffield in position to start drawing some penalties in the offensive zone, then it might be a little bit bleak. But they have the heart in that dressing room. If they come out and play it, they have a chance.
Terry, I don't know whether it was just me, but just before we went to the break, we heard from Yucko, and he looked pretty down. He's going to have to lift himself and the players, isn't he?
Well, I don't think he's down. I think he's upset. There's only so many opportunities as a coach and as a player where you get to be in a championship game for a cup or, you know, for a league title or whatever it may be. And I think as a coach right now, he sees after 2 periods maybe he hasn't got the best effort, not the best effort, but the best performance out of his players. So, you know, when you're emotionally charged and you're excited about the game, obviously after 2 periods you find yourself down 3-0, you're going to be, like you said, down a little bit or disappointed. But having said that, he's got 10, 15 minutes in between the period to try to get his players to forget about the scoreboard. They got to try to come out and, you know, get enthusiasm through finishing checks, getting the puck in deep, being the first man on a loose puck, getting the puck out of your end, and obviously they got to score the first goal. If they score the first goal, you're going to see some enthusiasm on the bench. You'll see the heads start to lift on the Newcastle bench, and all of a sudden we got ourselves a hockey game. But, you know, Newcastle obviously has got to score the first goal of this period.
They've got to score the first goal, obviously, Chris. Does it have to be an early goal? How crucial is that?
Well, it's going to have to be early, and I don't think it's going to be very pretty. I mean, they're a type of team that are very linear. They go to the net, they stop, they crowd the net. They have to start putting their butts in front of Torchia's face because they have to try to make this guy have to look around him. Anything Torchia sees, he's going to stop, and they have to get shadows in front of him.
Mike Blaisdell, some coach, isn't he, Terry? This is his 5th B&H Cup final. He's won 3 of them, and it looks like number 4 could be just 20-odd minutes away.
Well, anytime you get your team to a championship game on a regular basis, that says a lot for the coach. Obviously, it says a lot for the team he's coaching this year, too. Sheffield came in. They had a job to do. Through 40 minutes, they've done exactly what everybody expected them to do in this hockey game. Now what he's got to do is get his troops to come out there and obviously play the same kind of hockey, stay within themselves. They don't have to take a whole lot of chances offensively. They got to make sure they're always back defensively. But at the same time, you cannot let Newcastle come out and throw everything at the net and take charge in the offensive zone. Just keep on playing the way they did the first 40 minutes of the hockey game.
Chris, do you think it's fair to say that the Jesters have been overawed tonight?
I think basically they stepped in the building, and I think they were happy being here at the final. But I think on the other course, I think there's so much heart and so much camaraderie in that dressing room in Newcastle. I think these first 5 minutes are going to be some barn-burning minutes.
And it's important. I mean, a lot of the crowd have come here. The guys are saying it could be a record here tonight. It's important for them to see the Jesters really give it their best, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, with all the Newcastle fans here, I mean, I think everybody's happy with being here. There's a lot of celebration in the building. And
certainly looking pretty happy.
As you can see, but I think Newcastle's definitely going to give the crowd their money's worth tonight, and there's still 20 long minutes to go here.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes. 3rd period of this final. It's over to Richard and Paul again.
Thank you, Chris. Mike Rowe has called the teams together as we get set for the 3rd and final period of this B&H Cup final. 3-0, the Steelers lead it, so it's an uphill climb for the Jesters. They will know that the Steelers have not conceded 3 goals in the final period, but the Jesters can do that.
They can, but they've really got to go to work early here. They've got to win the loose pucks. They've got to start really playing the body. It doesn't have to be the prettiest or nicest goal in the world, but they've got to just chip away 1 shot and 1 goal at a time and try and claw their way back into this game.
Well, back in November, they picked up 5 goals against Manchester.
I will tell you point blank, nobody has scored 3 goals against the Sheffield Steelers in the third period of play this season. But having scored 5 against Manchester, Newcastle had a 7-3 win there. They are capable of it, that's for sure.
Jesters playing from right to left. 21 seconds gone. Face-off just outside the Steelers zone.
They need more shots on net, Newcastle that is. After 2 periods of play, they've been outshot 23-9. And you're not going to win many hockey games if you're only getting 9 shots on net. You've had power play opportunities included in that.
Mosner broke that up with a sliding effort in neutral ice territory. Flipped into the corner. Wilson tried to get a stick on it. Longstaff goes after it one way. Keiko in the far corner collects it first. His pass slowed down by a bit of water on the ice. The Jesters with a lot of players trapped on that far gate, trying to get off the ice and on the ice. And as we said so many times, the Jesters need to score, and they need to do it early to raise their spirits and get themselves into the game. Oh, nice pass right up the middle. Backhander upstairs. Oh, number 19, Scott Allison makes it look so easy.
How about that pass from Warren Norris? What a play by Warren Norris. Scott Allison, like you said, Paul, he made it look easy. He's tall, he's got the long reach. He's sporting a pretty good looking broken nose there right now, but he steps through with that long stride. Look at the reach on this guy. Dumps the puck on the backhand high into the net. Great pass from Norris though. Blue line to blue line, and that sends Allison through on the Newcastle net.
They're picking some pretty big holes in that defense. Well, a great start for the Steelers, but the worst ever possible start for the Jesters. A minute and 13 seconds gone on this period. And the Steelers are on the scoreboard once again. 4-0 now. Boy, I just lost it there. 4-0. And they've just made an announcement to the spectators here, asking them to refrain from throwing things on the ice. It's possibly one of the dumbest things you could do at an ice hockey game, especially when you put coins on the ice. They stick, you can't see them, and players hit them at great speed, and whoa, that can end a career. Simpson took a swing at that. Keiko on the end of it. High sticking is the call, with the puck being brought down with a stick over the shoulders, so face-off will be in the zone. 1.5 minutes gone, and it's more than an uphill battle now for the Jesters.
Sheffield have just done everything right though so far. Shorthanded goal, power play goal, 2 even strength goals. They've scored in inside the last minute of a period, and they've scored inside the first minute of a period. That's just tough to come back on.
Steelers were top of their group. The Jesters were bottom of their group. And the opening round of this tournament ended. Offside is the call, with Kupka and Swarsa getting their signals crossed. The teams were in the same group, but Sheffield looked much stronger back then, and today they look even stronger than they did when this competition started.
Well, Sheffield come into this game 9 wins and 1 loss in the Benson Hedges Cup tournament. That 1 loss was a first-round loss to Newcastle, and it certainly hasn't affected them today.
I think it's important to point out, too, that this is the last year that Benson and Hedges will be involved in this competition. They've been around since 1992. They've been great hands-on sponsors. They feel it's time for a change. And I know everyone associated with ice hockey in this country would like to thank them for what they've done. Metcalf on the far side. Bedard is there too. Driven back along the plexi. Seesaw battle from one side to the other. Swords to try to get a handle on it. Craigwell slams on the brakes, side of the net. 80 with his stick being held, couldn't shake it off. Sebastian head manning the puck to Metcalf. Another whistle on the play, another offside call as teams continue to change on the fly out there.
Dale Craigwell was caught deep inside the Newcastle zone, and Metcalf didn't see him over there. Offsides is exactly the call as Metcalf goes for a well-deserved rest. 5 goals in this Benson Hedges competition for him.
We were told by a Steelers supporter before the game not to say that their goalie was playing well, because every time we do that, he's then scored upon. And then we were told by a Newcastle supporter to please say that their goalie is playing well, because we happen to have this kiss of death effect on goalies.
And I know you're an overtime guy, Paul, so if I hear you 4 times mention that Torcha's playing an outstanding game, could have a 4-4 score here.
McCosh hit the post, the goaltender, the far side of the net. Salonen brings it right in front. Oh, and it's in the net! I'm sorry, I mentioned that he was playing well, and they score.
I'm going to tell you right now, if that Sheffield supporter comes down here, if that goal is allowed to count, if that Sheffield supporter comes, I am not taking third man in for you on this one. Good move by Salonen. He cuts, he leans down with the shoulder, he's working hard. Torcha's deep inside his net, the puck is behind the goal line. Salonen has what he wants out of the play, and it's the first Newcastle goal. From the backhand onto the forehand, he's leaning, good strength. McCosh gets a piece of it, but it's not enough.
Timo Salonen, who played with the Finnish national team, has only 1 assist in this competition, and he still doesn't have a goal because they've waved that one off. It went in off the skate.
After confrontation between, or communication, a little meeting between the linesman, the goal judge, and the ref, that goal has indeed been waved off, and they are still being shut out. So Torcha can be told he's still playing a good game right now, Paul.
You say it.
You're not in trouble.
16:33 left on the hockey game. Right out front. Bodies flying all over the place, and the Jesters have to pick it up a place. Lacroix, great pass to Archioma. Archioma lets the shot go, hits the side of the net, and play is whistled down as we have McCausland and Norris squaring off at the other end of the rink.
Well, Norris wants to go, but McCausland is keeping his gloves on and his bolts tightened down. Norris took a cross check right across the back, down low behind the Newcastle zone. There weren't many people that could see that play, as the play was way down in the Sheffield end of the ice. Both players now into the penalty box. McCausland for Newcastle, Norris for Sheffield. They'll have 2 minutes to cool down.
Face-off will be at the top of the circle in Steeler territory. 16 minutes and 23 seconds left on the hockey game. Still a long, long way to go, and a lot of time in ice hockey. Goals can be scored in a matter of seconds out there, so you don't need a day and a half to put the puck in the net. Really, there's a lot of time here for the Jesters to come back into this one, but there's a lot of time too for the Steelers to increase their lead even more. Simpson dragged that away, flips it up nicely. Craigwell unable to break free. Emanen backpedaling nicely, hits the red, hits the blue. Offside is the call, and that's been one of the problems with the Jesters today. They haven't been able to time those breaks right at the blue line. We've seen several offside calls. The guys got to be holding on. You know, they can see there's only 16 minutes left of the hockey game. You think they would take that extra precautionary move to stay behind the blue line.
Well, they are letting Sheffield off the hook on a number of occasions by taking the wind out of their own sails. They just seem to get to a certain point, and their heads just aren't into this game right now.
Poirier won the draw, but Craigwell got over there in a hurry and gives it back to Sebastian. Long pass up the middle. The passes are clicking. Simpson on the breaks, gives it away in his own zone. A chance now. Poirier, and there's another fight with Fenton squaring off. Oka's trying to get in there. Simpson down on the ice. Eventually, the second official comes in to keep them apart. And that's the second time we've seen a break interrupted because of a disturbance down at the other end of the rink. Whoa, you don't touch an official.
Well, Fenton's got to be careful or he's going to get himself in a little bit of additional trouble here. Simpson's just kind of casually watching. Fenton is not happy, and he's wrestling with linesman Matt Bolka.
You know, I don't think any player likes to be held down on the ice by an official. It'll be interesting to see how Mike Rowe, the referee, calls this one.
Well, this is also the reason why at this level of ice hockey, you need linesmen that are built like Matt Bolka, because he had his hands full trying to control Eric Fenton, and if the linesman isn't able to do his job there, which doesn't mean part of his job should have to be wrestling and fighting with players, but if he isn't at least able to control the players, somebody's going to get hurt.
Here's the incident. While play was still going the other way, Benson getting the punches in, but on the top of the helmet. Ouch.
Matt Bolka does a good job, though. He really does for a linesman. He gets in there, and he's got himself in a position where he can lock the player's arms, and he gets help very quickly from his colleague to separate the players.
Each team had a man in the box prior to these penalties, and they have 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on those coincidental penalties.
It's a nice scene, isn't it, to see Denny Vial down there looking like Henry Kissinger, or some kind of a diplomat of some kind. He's normally the guy that's at the other end of this, fighting his way into the penalty box or trying to keep his own bolts tightened down. And there he is, nice and casually out there having a chat with Mike Rowe. It all happens along the boards of the Newcastle zone. Fenton comes in high and takes the head right off Kent Simpson.
Mike Rowe explaining everything in words that these players can understand. Mike, as I said at the top of the program, was a hard-nosed defenseman for many years. So he knows what it's like to have a referee explain something to you, and that's what players enjoy, whether you like the call, whether you like it or not. Fenton has just thrown his helmet. Whoa, there goes his gloves. I think somebody should tell him that this is a family show. Fenton is not happy. He's now yelling at referee Mike Rowe. He's going to be the first one to go to the showers. This is silly. 15:43 left in the hockey game. And any momentum that the Jesters have will come out of their team right now. Fenton applauding the referee for his call, and that's to get Fenton out of the game. He's not happy. He goes right to the dressing room. And the fans here are winding him up something big time.
Well, Fenton really did rip Simpson's head off on the initial play.
The Jesters will have to send a player over to the penalty box. Things are not going well for the Jesters in this third and final period. The Steelers are just sitting back, soaking it up, relaxing their players, many of whom have been injured prior to this final. So many so, as I said, Coach Mike Blaisdell had to put on the skates a couple of weeks ago to fill in for the injured players. Mike, who's 40 years young, still has it in him to play. And of course, he has it in him, the coach. He's one of the best in the country. He's trying to find out what's going on out there. He's going to write it down. It does get confusing, and the officials are back in front of the timekeeper's bench trying to explain everything.
Well, Sheffield have shown a lot of character through their injuries, and it is worrying for the rest of the league that they are getting healthy again.
Mike Rowe wants him to come back on the ice and get ready for the face-off. The Jesters should have another player in the penalty box, but the penalty box door isn't even open.
Darren McCausland sitting in there by himself right now. Fenton has gone to the dressing room for a shower.
It's a 4-on-3 situation with the Jesters having the man advantage. Lacroix races in there. Wilson with a bobbling puck. Wilson along the boards, looking for somewhere to go. He's surrounded out there. Brought down, another penalty coming up. Whoa, it's getting chippy. Mike Rowe says, go to the box, and the Steelers will have another man in the penalty box.
Cross check from behind, and it's Adam Smith who will make his way to the penalty box as he flattens a Newcastle player. No question about that. Rob Wilson dumped onto the ice. 4 Sheffield Steeler players in the penalty box now. It's getting busy over there. Simpson, Norris, Bobick, and Smith.
Again, if you're watching for the first time, they can have as many players as the referee wants to put into the penalty box, but they can only be down 2 on the ice. So again, it's a 4-on-3 situation. Shot being deflected as Brabant got in front of Wilson's shot, sent it up into the crowd. We're still waiting for an attendance figure in this game. I don't know if they're going to give it to us, but we do think it's a capacity crowd. As we look around, we don't see any empty seats.
I'm still wanting to know what infuriated Eric Fenton so much, because something happened when the players went down on the ice, but he got up very angry, and as he's in the shower now reflecting on things, I'd still like to know what happened as he threw half his equipment out onto the ice in the meantime.
Archioma got it over. Some crisscrossing doesn't work for the Jesters. They're going to start it up again. Lacroix. Lacroix's pass is not a good one. This is basic hockey that's going wrong. Archioma. Brabant goes after him. It's a penalty situation out there. Power play. And it's sloppy stuff from the Jesters. They can't string the passes together to get in the zone to take the shots. It's not going right, but still a lot of time left. 14:42.
They've also got the wrong guy in the penalty box. McCausland's kind of the skipper there to get the power play going. He's the offensive-minded defenseman that can move the puck well. They need him back on the ice.
McCausland standing up with 17 seconds. Norris is up 2, so they'll be back on the ice in 10 seconds now. Oates with Poirier breaking to the net. Oates drops it back. Keiko slides it across. Keiko winds up, takes a shot. Deflected away. McCosh rattles that off the boards to the far side. Another stoppage in play as we have a lot of start-stop action in this third period. Rowe wants to know what's happening out there, and is Norris supposed to be on the ice? It makes it a 5-on-4 situation, but the Steelers still have 3 players in the penalty box.
Fenton's in the dressing room, and there still isn't a Newcastle player in the penalty box. Mike Rowe is trying to sort things out here now.
Mike Rowe says that he comes out, but he has to wait for the whistle. Well, it's too late now. The referee, who is mic'd up and we can hear, is saying they let a guy out of the box by mistake. Well, it's nice to see that everyone else makes mistakes. It's not just us. I hope you're taping this, folks, because if you're confused, you can play it back and forth 100 times until you work out what's going on, because they don't seem to know what's going on down there. I can tell you it does get confusing when you get a lot of guys in the penalty box. They can't all jump on the ice at once. There would be too many men on the ice. Poirier, McCausland on the left-hand side with Bedard. Poirier hammered into the boards heavily by Kyle Short. Bedard is in there. Matt Oates. Short on the backhand, gets it back as far as McCausland. Oates taps it into the corner. Jesters need to get a shot on goal. Rebound is there. It wasn't frozen with Bedard taking a shot after the whistle, and Vial takes a punch as things get a little too close for comfort in there for the goaltender. Goaltenders are great at starting things and then just kind of ducking into the cupboard.
Yeah, you're a good one for that.
I used to be a goalie.
Yeah, you still do it in our ball hockey championships we have in your backyard from time to time.
Let's look at this again.
Bedard taking the beating for the team in front of the net. Backhand attempt is there by Oates. He's a guy who hasn't been able to do much wrong, and he just can't find the back of the net in this game. Now it all goes wild. Vial comes in to help out Mike Torcha. A couple punches are thrown. That's all mutual respect.
Well, the whistle did blow a little early on that, but again, the referee lost sight of it. He thought it was jammed in the pads. Face-off comes out of the zone. 13:42 remaining on the hockey game. It's a 4-0 lead for the Steelers over the Jesters in this B&H Cup final. Just in case you lost track of where we are live on British Eurosport, and this third period really has caught fire. It's not the prettiest ice hockey you will ever see. In fact, at times it's downright sloppy. Face-off in the far corner.
I was just going to say, Paul, every single call is being debated now. These guys have just got to get on with the game and start playing hockey. The puck was sent up into the crowd. They were arguing about that. Now we've had a face-off dropped by mistake. The players weren't even ready, and the action continues.
Mosner doubles back, long pass up the middle. Kupka racing after it. Sebastian got there nicely. Allison sent it on his way. Craigwell chases down and then suddenly backs off. Mosner looking for someone to pass to. Eventually, Kupka came back to help out. Kupka trying to get away from everyone. And Wilson lost control. Now Wilson gets it. Throws it over to the wing, but it wasn't a great pass. Jesters throwing the passes around, but they're not clicking. Kupka up on the wing. Swarsa slows it down. Salonen, who thought he had a goal earlier on in the period. Drop back. Mosner shot! Right there, goaltender makes a save. Kupka tries to swipe at it. Long, high flip off the boards by McCosh, and Wilson goes back. Both teams continue to change on the fly. No end to the action as Clark slams on the brakes. Works along the boards. Wilson tries to get it out front. Loses along the boards, roughs it up as the Steelers come back into it. Long pass open on an open wing. Arkeoma, who's a great hockey player from Finland, going down against Kyle Short. Lacroix is in there. Steelers looking for a little space, looking for a breather. Ice the puck with Emanen going back, touches it. 12 minutes, 2 seconds left on the hockey game. And the face-off will go back into Steeler territory.
Newcastle running out of time and ideas here, but it does tell you something about Mike Torch in the Sheffield net. He's only had 13 shots on his net in this game, and that last save that he made was a good one off the shot of Mosner, and there was traffic in front of him. So Torch is keeping his concentration through all the other sort of action that's going on around him in this game.
And I can tell you, it's difficult for a goalie to stay in a game when he's not getting shots. It's much easier when you're getting 30 or 40 shots to be hot and stay in it, but then when you're required every couple of minutes to maybe take a shot, and a good one, and make the save, then boy, is that difficult to do. Breaking down the play. Weaver taking a shot just wide of the target as he fought hard to break it down and then to break through. Arkeoma, nice pass up to Clark. Clark looking for a place, drops it back. Return pass to Clark doesn't work, getting in close, but not close enough. Steelers letting that go as Emanen fires it to the far side. Clark just dumps it in and then goes to the bench. 11-14, big hit by Poirier. Oh, that was a massive hit on Vial. Vial goes right to the bench. Poirier has got a grin from ear to ear. Vins along the boards. Giveaway pass to Craigwell. Keiko Slides it over to the far side. Binns now looking for places to go. Drives it up, but takes a deflection, and the Steelers come back on the attack. Waiting, trying to stay onside, but it doesn't happen. 80 brought it over, and Craigwell was just a stride offside. McCosh from the faceoff got it over, and Smith puts it in. Keiko nicely into the corner. Alcides runs into trouble. Shot well wide of the target. Steelers now applying a little pressure as Metcalf gives it up. 80 back behind the goal line. Craigwell started to move, thought it was coming his way. That didn't happen. Alcides looking to get away from 80. Doesn't have a lot of support on the far side. Eventually Kupka comes in and takes a hit for his troubles, as Smith was right in his face. Long pass up to 80. 80 goes slow, waits for a little support for himself. Mosner goes after his man as Metcalf puts on the brakes. Back behind the cage. 80 wants it on this side. It doesn't happen. Alcides running out of ideas. Norris takes it from him. Oates goes in to break things up, and the Jesters struggle and eventually get it out of the zone, but it's pumped right back in again. Thrown up quickly to Oates. Oates now breaking, drives that at the net. It took a deflection. McCausland couldn't get on it. Roberts throws it right up the middle. Bobbitt. Norris just dumps it in, and we have 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Penalty coming up, and it's against the Steelers for manhandling the goaltender. Little deflection there, comes out of the zone. Goaltender out at the other end of the rink. So the Jesters have the extra attacker on. Jesters flipping it in with Lacroix getting it in. Torchia touches it. 9 minutes and 1 second remaining on the hockey game. Roughing the call.
Going against Steve Roberts as he bumped into the Newcastle goaltender, Satasari, on his way around the net. Satasari had come out of the goal. Roberts got a piece of him. Wrote in like what he saw, so Roberts will sit for 2 minutes in the Sheffield penalty box.
You like that penalty, don't you?
It's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with hitting a poor innocent goalie when he's out of his net.
Keep these goalies awake.
From the face-off, McCosh over to the far side. If the Jesters are to do it, they need to do it now. Mosner waits for his teammates to come back. Simpson got on that. Norris along the boards, kills off a couple of seconds, and the Jesters have to go back into the zone to try it again. Archioma wants it. Mosner hands it off. Archioma away from Simpson to Mosner. Kupka stick handling through, loses it. Norris is there. He's a chance now. Another shorthanded goal was robbed at the last moment by the goaltender as Kent Simpson came in and let it fly.
I like these two guys, Warren Norris and Kent Simpson. They really punch in and punch out every time they go on the ice. They work hard, they play well, they are great in the shorthanded situations. Simpson's had one goal killing a penalty already. He scored 3 shorthanded goals this year. This time Norris feeds him. The shot is there. Close one.
1:18 remaining on the power play. Bedard. McCausland races in. Goaltender gets a backhander on it. Scoots it up nicely. Kupka tries to fire it to the open net. The goaltender was out, but he got back in. It was deflected away. 4-0 the score. 8 minutes now left on the hockey game. 1 minute left on the power play. McCausland. Poirier couldn't reach for it, but it was grabbed at the last minute by Bedard, who was dumped nicely by Allison. Good stuff by the Steelers as they bring themselves back into defensive hockey in the neutral ice zone. Nice move by Poirier, but Metcalf doubles back and somehow got in the way of that. McCausland up to Bedard. Poirier slides it over on the wing. Kupka winds up, take the shot. Deflects onto the near side and eventually shot all the way down to Satosari's doorstep. Binns with 14 seconds on the power play.
That's 3 sets of forwards in the last 40 seconds that have been on the ice for Sheffield. They are working hard. They're just doing the job of killing the penalty off and getting off the ice really quick.
Oates. Back deep with the Steelers back at full strength. Salonen unable to control that on the boards. Loses out to the goaltender. And eventually it's shot away. Steelers with Metcalf on the right side. He's got Brabant back at the blue line. Metcalf gunning for goal. Satasari is down there with 6:41 remaining on the period and the hockey game.
Scott Metcalf found himself in a good situation there. He had the puck and he was going on a forward. It's a one-on-one. He walks right around Eamon, not used to being in that position. Metcalf carries on. Satasari has to really hold the fort down.
Face-off deep in Jesters territory. Short-handed goal by Ken Simpson started things off for the Sheffield Steelers, and really they haven't looked back. Weaver came up with a power play goal, then an even-handed goal in the second period, and Allison here in the third, and that's the way it stands with 6:28 remaining on the hockey game. 4-0 for the Steelers. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot closer than this. Longstaff taken out by Mosner. Archioma still struggles to get the puck away, and eventually it's thrown to the far side of the rink. Long high clearance in with Weaver going after it. The bat goes for the short side. Goaltender there, McCausland on the far side. McCausland passes over to Poirier. Poirier, long shot. Blocked down by McCosh, but Poirier goes in after it. Not a lot of support, but Poirier still stays in there and fights as Longstaff is unable to pin him against the woodwork. The Steelers bring it up as far as Keiko. Keiko, Poirier, long shot. Goaltender steers that away. 5.5 minutes left on the hockey game. 5.5 minutes before these Sheffield fans celebrate. Some of them have already started to celebrate with this 4-0 lead. And the Jesters put something together to get themselves on the scoreboard. Kept in nicely by McCosh. Alkidi's got it to the far side. Bedard, Kupka, Salonen, right at the doorstep. And here we go again. Bedard is being manhandled by McCosh. Now Bedard turns around and takes a couple of punches of his own.
Louis Bedard constantly finds himself in that situation. A couple of times he's been the guy right in the crease. And whenever you're in that position, you know that things are going to start coming your way. Torcha does a good job of keeping the puck out of the net, and it's all down to who's going to connect and who isn't with the punches that are flying.
In the old days, folks, you used to watch ice hockey and you saw everything thrown on the ice, and that's not the kind of thing we condone. We hasten to add that, but they used to throw mice onto the ice. In Detroit, they were famous for the old squid and whatever. Well, we just saw our first rubber chicken tossed onto the ice from someone right next to us. Torchia coming up big, and the fists fly after the save is made. Bedard has gone to the bench, but he's been told to go to the penalty box. Now he's on his way. They do try it, don't they?
Well, they do. That is not the cafeteria we're looking at. That is the ice.
That's not the chicken either. He looked a lot better than that before he hit the ice.
You're right. That's not a chicken.
You know what I like? These guys are all tough ice hockey players. The referees are pretty tough, but when something's thrown on the ice, they won't touch it. Especially if it's moving, they won't touch it. They'll stand back, and some guy with a plow will have to come along and scoop that up.
Exactly.
How tough can they be?
Well, I don't know, but whoever threw that on the ice, it asked somebody to hold the lettuce.
Yeah. 4 minutes and 57 seconds left on this hockey game. And we have some objects on the ice. And the man with the scooper is there. He's probably saying, hey, what's wrong with you? You got a hockey stick, just scoop that up.
This guy's a real character. He's been here for a number of years at Sheffield. He's the Zamboni engineer, the ice technician, all of the above. He even scrapes cheeseburgers off the ice and he's offering it to the Sheffield crowd. He is a real character. He's a good guy. Showing that he's multi-talented here as he scoops up this burger, the tomatoes, the bun, all the extras that have come out with it.
The stoppage in play has given the fans here, this capacity crowd in the Sheffield Arena, a chance to begin their countdown and begin the celebrations because they feel this one is in the bag. The Steelers lead it 4-0. We are still live, still on British Eurosport. It seems like this game has gone on forever.
And going back to that last play, Mike Rowe giving roughing calls to two players, Louis Bedard of Newcastle and Shane McCosh of Sheffield.
So it's 4-on-4 out there. Face-off just outside the Steelers zone. Now we're back to the action. McCosh off the boards, moves it forward. Correction, Allison. Mossner drops back. Mossner looking up, throws it to the far side. McCausland wants it on the near side as he gets over to his bench, but that doesn't happen. Wilson. Pass up to McCausland. He struggles, and these passes are not good, and it's just not working for the Jesters. It really hasn't been their night. They fought hard, but the passes haven't clicked, and the Steelers have just played intelligent two-way hockey. Oates, can he change it? Shot on the target. Torchia made the save. Smith gets it back. Short sends it along the board. Simpson is there, looking for Bobick. Bobick all alone in neutralized territory. Almost had it handed back to him. Archioma tried to get it back onto the Jesters' defense. Mossner eventually has it at the second attempt, and it's thrown to the far side. Archioma with Craigwell right in his face. 3:45 left on the hockey game. Binns tries it on his own, and that seems to be one of the problems. Whenever the Jesters have gone forward, they've gone forward in single numbers, not in twos and threes. The shot high up off the plexi. Imanen gets it back as Poirier goes in after taking that high shot and tries to grab it again. Binns on the far side takes a big hit and goes into the boards. There's going to be another penalty here. Binns is not in good shape. He went hard into the boards.
And it looked awkward as well. Binns is a pretty good-sized guy. It looked like he kind of twisted himself up, but he appears to be okay now.
Bobick skates over very slowly to the penalty box, and if I got the message correctly, I think it was a 2+10. So Bobick, if that's correct, we'll see no more of this hockey game.
You said Bobick very carefully went over to the penalty box. Binns very carefully sat down just now on the Newcastle bench.
4-on-3 situation. The penalty box door is still open on this side with the
well, they want a player to come from the Sheffield bench to serve Bobick's 2-minute penalty.
Because Bobick will stay in there, and so they'll need a player to jump on the ice once the minor penalty. has been killed off, and Rick Brabant goes in there with a smile on his face. With a 4-0 lead with 3:12 remaining on the hockey game, he has nothing much to worry about. So the announcement is the 2+10. Poirier breaks down on the right side. Jesters trying to break that shutout, trying to get at least a couple of quality shots on goal.
Bedard and McCosh now back on the ice for their teams.
Bedard tries to rink-wide pass, bobbling puck. It's just driven down the ice. Steelers can do it. They have a man in the box. Halkitis being shadowed by Simpson. Arkeoma. Big shot right on the target. Torchia comes up with it. It's not the kind of save a goalie or a coach likes a goalie to make. Squeezing it into the pads.
And he was really squeezing, I'll tell you right now. That's a good shot by Arkeoma. McCosh is backing off. McCosh is slightly in Torchia's way as well, as Torchia, in the end, just happy to hear the whistle blow, as he wasn't quite sure where that puck was.
Another shot. Wilson lets it ride. Goaltender tries to take a swipe at it. Bobbles through the circle. Shots now coming from all angles as Arkeoma got another one. Torchia grabbed that and quickly got out of the net.
Well, on that one, Torchia knew exactly where it was. He was ducking and diving, trying to get a view of the puck as Lacroix was standing in front of him. It wasn't a hard shot, but he still had to be awake.
2 minutes, 11 seconds remaining on this hockey game. Face off deep in Steeler territory. Craigwell against Lacroix. Craigwell wins that. A deflection sends it out to the blue line. Mosner just chops it in as the Jesters come out of the zone. 2 minutes left on the hockey game. 40 seconds left on the power play. Wilson is back deep. Craigwell backs off. Wilson, long pass up to the blue line. Arkeoma can't control it. Vial ties him up. Goaltender gets it right up the middle. Allison unable to break as the bouncing puck eluded him, and the Jesters, perhaps for the last time, with Salonen. Poirier slams on the brakes. Puck bobbles through the circle. Salonen picks himself up. Wilson is there, but again, it's cleared away by good defensive moves from the Steelers. Steelers are happy to sit back and just throw the puck out of the zone and stop it before it really happens out there. Poirier gets that in the circle. Wilson is on this side, but that was telegraphed. It was intercepted nicely. Smith slides it over. Norris just puts it in the corner, back behind the cage. 80 goes one way, and a chance for Metcalf. Metcalf takes it out front. Goaltender got a piece of that with the blocker. 53 seconds remaining on the hockey game. The final B&H Cup is going to go to Sheffield. McCosh dances on the blue, gives it nicely to Norris. This is good stuff as they rag the puck and kill down the final seconds of this one. Bedard. McCosh. On the far side, Emanen tries to move it forward. Emanen taps it up to Clark. He can't keep it on his stick. Keiko got a little touch there as Simpson goes in. 10 seconds. The big countdown begins. Kupka drives it upstairs. No icing call as the Steelers take it back. And there goes the buzzer to end the hockey game. The Steelers win the B&H Cup in the final year of the sponsorship from Benson Hedges. Everyone goes back to congratulate Mike Torchia on his shutout in this 4-0 victory over the Newcastle Jesters. A solid two-way performance.
Sheffield did it all. They got their act together right from the start. Newcastle just couldn't get themselves into this game, and it's a well-deserved victory for the Sheffield Steelers.
Well, the teams come together at center for the traditional shaking of the hands, no matter what went on down the ice. They're now saying, well done. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back from more from Sheffield in a moment.
Welcome back. The Sheffield Steelers are this year's B&H Cup winners, and Terry and Chris, never in doubt, was it really?
Well, I thought that Sheffield dominated the game really from start to finish here tonight. The other thing too, Chris, is they scored at very opportune times in the game. Power play, penalty killing, one right after the penalty kill expired, and of course the first minute of the third period.
Absolutely, and the man of the moment is the Steelers coach, Mike Blaisdell.
Hi, congratulations. They did everything you could have asked of them, didn't they?
Yeah, they're all sweet, but this one's especially sweet. I got a great bunch of guys, and they played their hearts out tonight, and they played such a disciplined game. They took the penalties and they killed them, and we were just awesome killing penalties as well.
They never really let Newcastle into the game, did they? They kept working right up until the end.
No, they never really let Newcastle into the game at all. They never let them play, and they just, you know, each guy just played fabulous hockey. I'm so proud of them. They really deserve the cup. It wasn't by fluke.
Difficult to pick out one player, but Jason Weaver really stood out, didn't he?
Yeah, they all played well, but Weaver put 2 big goals away for us, and I thought our defense was especially good, and Torchia when he had to be to stop the pucks, but our penalty killing units were excellent.
And I think having the crowd here has made a huge difference for you this evening, hasn't it?
I hear you now. I can't hear you with this crowd right now, but I mean, I think bottom line is every guy did this part, and it was a long road to get here, and the B&H is something special, especially since it's the last one.
I bet there are going to be some fantastic celebrations later on, aren't there?
Oh, yeah, unfortunately, we have to play Manchester tomorrow in the league, but we might have a couple beer tonight.
That's great. Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, I tell you what, Terry is absolutely delighted that they're hoping they're going to be out celebrating, because of course he is the Manchester coach. Okay, let's have the medal ceremony now and the presentation of the cup. Let's go over to Paul and Richard.
Thank you, Chris. And the fans waiting patiently for this big moment. I don't think anyone here is sitting down. They're all standing, applauding this Sheffield team. And folks, it really has been an exceptional team so far this year, and there's more to come. They're leading the league. They walked through this tournament, and they really have performed with dignity and with courage.
Oh, absolutely. They've been hurt, they've been healthy, and we've seen an all-around team performance tonight. The special teams and a complete team effort. Short-handed goals, even strength goals, power play goal. Jason Weaver's second goal of the game was the real killer. 16 seconds left to go in the second period, and he really shut the door on Newcastle.
The presentation's now being made. Mike Rowe with Folke and Kunin picking up their awards for taking part in this game, and it was a difficult game for a referee to call, wasn't it? There were so many things going on out there.
Oh, there were a lot of things going on off the puck as well, so Mike Rowe had his hands full right from the start of this game.
Well, the player of the game, the man of the match, the most valuable player, call him what you want, but everyone's choice. Weaver, number 25, picked up a couple of goals, really had one heck of a game. Jason Weaver.
And now Jim Elkins of Benson Hedges will present medals to the Newcastle Jesters.
And now the awards going to the players from Newcastle. Mossner, who played so well back on defense. Salonen has kind of struggled in this tournament. He hasn't been able to pick up the points. Only 1 assist. He thought he had a goal, but it was called back. That might have made a difference. Jim Elkins from Benson Hedges presenting the award to the Newcastle Jesters team players. Folks, they really have performed well to get where they are, because they were never expected to go this far. Everyone thought it would be London.
Well, they were underdogs in the quarterfinals, the semis, and they came into this game as the underdogs, but they did so well to get where they are today. They were looking for silverware. They took London out of the semifinals when everybody fully expected the London Knights to be here today, and they deserve a lot of credit. They just came up against a real
strong all the way through the line. Team performance by the Sheffield Steelers here today.
You're absolutely right. Satosari, one of the key players, one of the guys instrumental in putting the Jesters where they are today. He really has played some big hockey games for the team, and as I said, there's lots more to come. The Seconda Super League goes on into next year, so there's a lot of hockey to be played in Britain still. And we're happy to hear that the team up in Belfast, the Belfast Giants, are pulling in the crowds. They've opened their doors. They opened their doors on December 2nd. They got a capacity crowd. Last week they got a capacity crowd, so things are happening up in Belfast. Congratulations to them. Roberts is the first player to go up and get his award for the Sheffield Steelers, and each one will be individually applauded. Longstaff, he had a great tournament.
Absolutely, top scorer in the tournament with 14 points. David Longstaff was just off to a terrific start, both in Super League play and in Benson Hedges Cup competition.
We talked about the Sheffield Steelers being banged up through this tournament. They really were, so much so, as we've said a couple times, Mike Blaisdell put on his skates, but a lot of these guys are still hurting, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They've got Allison back from one injury. He's got a broken nose now. Paul Adey's got a broken nose. They're waiting for Paul Beraldo, who's come back across the ocean. His knee appears to be okay now. He's training. Carpenter has been ailing with a knee problem. He tried to skate in the warm-ups. He's not able to play, but getting back to fitness. So they've been through everything, really, and the season has still got a long way to go.
Well, it was a very, very gutsy performance, not only in this game, but throughout the competition. The best record of anyone. McCosh goes up and gets his award. He played solidly on defense. Rick Brabant is always there as he takes his award. And eventually Blaisdell, the coach, gets his award. I don't know if he should get it as a player or as a coach, because he's done both in this league. That's his fourth Benson and the Hedges victory at the final game.
The captain of the Sheffield Steelers,
And Dennis Vial finally goes up and accepts the B&H Cup. Jim Elkins from Benson and Hedges is there for the very last time, as we said, to present this trophy. And I think it's fitting at this stage anyway that the Sheffield Steelers should win it. They're definitely the best team in the country. And on present form, there is no one who can really come close. So, deserving winners. Vial says, come on, help me celebrate. Newcastle salute their fans and make their way to the dressing room. And it's all about celebrating and posing for pictures, but they know they've got the Seconda Super League to contend with. So it's back to business as usual tomorrow, but tonight it's all about holding the B&H Cup for the Sheffield Steelers. They won it 4-0 in a very convincing performance. Unbelievable scenes here in Sheffield as the fireworks go off and papers fall all around on top of us. I feel like I'm in New York on St. Patrick's Day, or right in the middle of a New York Yankees World Series Cup victory. This is what they do in New York, and it's just like being there. The papers are falling down all around, as you can see. Great scenes, a lot of people staying here to celebrate with the Steelers. A very strong, a very large fan base, and they turned out in numbers today. Capacity crowd witnessed this 4-0 victory. And folks, I think it was a fair outcome.
It was indeed, and the Sheffield supporter group, like we said before, Paul, they know their hockey and they love hockey here in Sheffield, so it's only fitting that the final B&H Cup not only ends up here, but this large group of people who travel up and down the country. Sheffield have the best group of away supporters in the country as well. That needs to be said. It takes a real dedicated fan, not only to turn up and buy tickets for home games, but to travel up and down the roads of Great Britain to see your team play week in and week out.
And it is a nice compliment to them to see the final here and their team wins it.
Well, we're going to go down and speak to Jason Weaver, who's on the far side of the rink. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Well, here he is, man of the match, Jason Weaver. Congratulations, it really was a great team effort, wasn't it?
Unbelievable team effort. We had absolutely no weak link tonight at all. Everybody played great, all the way up from the goalie, all the way up.
It was a bit of a physical game though, wasn't it? It was getting pretty crammed in the penalty box at moments there.
Yeah, you know, mainly just in the third period it got a little physical, but you know, we did everything right, and you know, killed off a lot of penalties, and went really well.
Had you expected the match to be closer?
Yeah, I think I did. You know, we played really solid defensively. The defense played awesome, and Torchy, of course, played unbelievable. You know what? We didn't really have any lapses, so it went really well.
And what about those 2 goals that you scored? Talk me through those.
I was really happy with that. I think after I shot the first one, I thought maybe I shouldn't have shot it. It was a 5-on-3. It was a bit, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have shot, but it worked out really well for me. And the second one, he got a piece of it as well, and I was lucky it went in. Just want to say a special hi to Mike Dawson in Holland. How you doing, Mike?
Well, it was a great result. Thanks very much, Jason. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah, of course, he was the man of the match. And Terry and Chris, what now for the Steelers? Double, obviously. That's what they'll be looking for.
Well, obviously, you know, they've won the B&H Cup. They've got a great season going on right now. Chris's team is in second place right now. They're the closest ones to Sheffield. The nice thing is we all have some games against them. Of course, we play them tomorrow at 5 o'clock in our building.
Good luck.
I'm going to go down and put a couple of cases of beer in their locker room so they can really celebrate their victory here tonight. But they got an outstanding season going on right now, and obviously they had a great game here today.
And Chris, what about the Jesters? Where do they go now from here? They really have to pick themselves up, won't they, for the league?
Well, this is going to be a tough one to recover from. Sheffield really came out and dominated all aspects, but you got to hand it to Newcastle. They're the second best team in the league, and they belong here. It just goes to show you how good Sheffield's playing right now.
But deserved winners, the Steelers, definitely, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, there's no question about it. I thought the thing that they did tonight, they came out, they played with a high energy level, they were physical, they dominated special teams, and they scored at opportune times in the game. That fourth goal was a key goal for their hockey club.
Yeah, it kind of went to the wrong side, at least, in terms of equality. Thanks very much for all your help this evening, gentlemen. It was a real pleasure having you. Of course, the Jesters gave us plenty of entertainment, didn't they? Living up to their name as the Newcastle Jesters. But the Steelers, arguably the best team in the country, are the last winners of the B&H Cup. Good night.